And I don't know what happened to my background. It's usually the Giants. I just noticed that. Stand up, New York Giant fans. What's going on, Bad Dog?
Yeah, what is going on? Happy Friday. Weekend's here. Yay.
Still got my Knicks jersey on. Great win tonight by the Knicks. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. What's going on there? King Jersey Man, what's going on there? Unknown user, what's going on there? Pack Ride, Bill M in the chat, Afghanistan in the chat, Chino in the chat, Stan in the chat, Wyatt in the chat, Jared Stubbs in the chat, Dark Wolf in the chat, Orkstick in the chat, the heavyweight champion of the world in the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. And we got time. Thank you for being here. Michael, thank you for being here. Sean Thornton, thank you for being here. Julian Love, Mr. Duct Tape, thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody for being here as we are ready to talk some New York Giants football. New York Giants coming in at 2-6 as they take on the Las Vegas Raiders coming off the bye. Raiders were your surprise team before the year started, by the way. I tip my cap to you on that.
Yes, they were. They were my sleeper. Again, I feel like I had insider information because my brother-in-law is a big Raiders fan, so I knew a lot more about the Raiders than probably a lot of people did. So I was like, he made a lot of good points. And I said, you know what? They might actually be pretty good this year, and they are pretty good. Outside of the one game against the Bears, where they lost their head coach and they were going through that whole thing. Now, one thing I'm going to say about this game, and I have some Raider fans that come into the channel last night and or the night before, or whatever the night it was. I don't even remember. They all blend together these days. I told them that this is the type of game. This is a stupid thing that the Giants do. Like, this is the type of game the Giants win. Like, they got no business winning.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have the whole Henry Ruggs thing going on. So, again, they could be a little bit distracted from that. Obviously, they're not going to have him, so that's a big loss for them. And, I'm not saying the Giants are going to win, but this is the type of game that the Giants do win for whatever reason. This is the type of game that they come out with a W. So, I don't know. I guess if there was ever a time to take the money line of the Giants, this might be the week that I do it. But like I said, I'm not picking us to win, but I definitely feel like we have a shot.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. And I've only picked the Giants twice all year. Before people call me Mr. Optimistic, which they love to do. I thought
they mean Mr. Negative, so it's perfect.
Yeah. I thought they were going to get killed last week, and they actually surprised me. They kept it, even though there were things in the game that we didn't like. They kept it closer than I thought they would. But this week, I actually have a feeling they have a good chance to win. I actually think they could win it. Like you said, it just feels like one of those games that, I don't know, like with the Ruggs thing. And I don't know. It just feels like the Giants defense is starting to play better. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they win this game. I know the Raiders have played really well. They're 5-2. They're coming off the bye. Darren Waller, obviously, he's the main guy there with on offense that you got to worry about at the tight end position. But yep. I don't know. I'm with you, man. I actually think the Giants may pull this game out and get to 3-6. We'll see. And if they do that, I don't know. Maybe we got a prayer to have a some kind of season if we could knock down the Bucs the following week. But let's see if we can take down the Raiders first. Raiders, to me, I was shocked when I was looking at their numbers. Henry Ruggs, I didn't know he was having as good of a year as he was having.
I did. He's on my fantasy team. So it's just everybody that's on my fantasy team gets, I don't know. I'm like, how did this guy lose his job in the office? Oh, he did that. Oh, perfect. Of course he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I could. He got 460 yards already. So it'll be interesting to see what the Raiders do about that. But I'm with you, man. I think we have a good chance to win this week, actually. As crazy as that may sound to some people. Yep. Easy Lopez, and we knew that this was going to get brought up because it's like the hot topic right now with the Giants on Twitter. And, of course, Baddog wore the Beckham jersey, so we knew that would bring out some of the conversation. Easy Lopez says, Beckham jersey, Baddog believes, bring him home. I'll let Baddog talk on it.
Well, I did a video on this today. Some people like to misconstrue it. They're like, listen, I'm not saying that. At no point in that video did I say that I want him back here, but if the Giants wanted to bring him back and he wanted to come back here, I would certainly welcome him. And somebody said to me, why do you care about what, Mara's well-being or whatever? And I'm like, I don't care about Mara's well-being. My whole point in that video is this. As fans, we all know that fans love Odell Beckham. They love him. This guy's a fan favorite. People still talk about him. They've been talking about him since he left, right? We've got nothing to cheer about the entire time. The Giants are a lousy organization. People are like, oh, he's going to ruin the locker room. What is there to ruin? What is there to ruin here? This team's terrible. We have no wide receivers. So, hey, man, I seriously doubt that he would come back here. Why would he? When he has an opportunity to go somewhere where he compete, it's probably where he's going to end up. But my point is this. Mara has done nothing to make the fans happy. If there was a way to reunite these two teams and make the fans happy because they deserve it, me, I don't care either way. He comes here, I'm happy. He doesn't come here, I'm happy. It doesn't really matter. to me what he does. But in my opinion, like I said, I just put a poll on Twitter. I already see 2/3 of the people want Odell Beckham back here. People would come out to see Odell Beckham play, and he's 29 years old. I feel like he's been humbled with Cleveland. I feel like I know people are like, oh, he's problem in Cleveland. We know what Odell Beckham is. We've seen that. And people are like, oh, what about Daniel Jones and this? How do we know Daniel Jones is gonna? It doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. There's nothing left here. So if he came back here, I'd be perfectly fine with it. Gives the fans something to cheer about. Give the fans a reason to go to the stadium. If they want to go watch Odell Beckham like we did for years when we sucked when he was here and in his prime, why not? They brought Hakeem Nicks back. They brought Brandon Jacobs back. Why not bring Odell Beckham back? What the hell they got to lose? He's going to make league minimum. Who cares?
Yeah, well, at least from what I heard, I don't think Beckham's going to get claimed because he put some kind of provision in his contract where if a team claims him, they have to pay him like $7.5 million. Yeah. I think for the remainder of the season. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So it sounds like Beckham's going to clear waivers, and he clearly did that for a reason. He wants to be able to handpick the team that he goes and plays for.
Yep.
So for everybody that's dreaming about Beckham, I don't see it happening. I don't think it's a realistic possibility. If I'm Beckham, the Giants are the last place I want to go. I want to go to a team where I could compete and a team where they have a good offense and a good offensive scheme where I could put up numbers. I know obviously Odell Beckham fans in here are going to want Odell Beckham to be with the Giants. And he said that I guess in the past, he'd want to come back to the Giants. If they sign him to a one-year deal, whatever. I could care less either way. I don't think it's going to make much of an impact in terms of winning and losing. And if it makes Giants fans happy, okay, go ahead and have at it. That's my take on it. But I just don't see it happening. It's why I've not really talked about it. I don't see it being a realistic possibility. If I'm Odell Beckham, I'm going to go to a team like the Packers, a team like the Saints, a team like, a team that is in contention to actually win a Super Bowl. He wasn't happy. The Rams, yeah. He wasn't happy when he was here. He said that he wanted to get out of here and go to get to the Rams because he wasn't happy with the offense. Well, this offense is ranked 31st in the league in the red zone. So I just don't see it. And we're 2-6. So I don't see the match with Odell Beckham and the New York Giants other than the fact that he played here before. But if you're Beckham, man, if you have a chance to play for Tom Brady or if you have a chance to play for Aaron Rodgers, that's probably the route that you're going to take.
Yeah, like I said in the video, I said I doubt why would he want to come here? There's nothing to play for, but obviously he loved playing here. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't make a lot of sense. My whole point was if they wanted to bring him back here, I would certainly take it back. Whereas before, I was like, I don't want the guy back here. But at this point in the season, there's nothing to lose. And really, honestly, and again, I mentioned in the video too, just because he comes here doesn't mean he's going to be healthy. He's had a lot of health issues as well. Our receiving corps has been beat the hell up. Who the hell are we even throwing to anymore? Colin Johnson. CJ Board's hurt. Dante Pettis hurt. Kenny Galladay's hurt. Sterling Shepard's hurt. Like, who the hell do we even have here? So, You
got muted, by the way. Maybe I muted you. I don't think so. No, you're muted. You're still muted. Oh, there you go.
I hit the stupid button. I guess it depends on what Beckham wants. If Beckham wants to put up numbers, I don't think he would go to Tampa. There's not enough balls around there to go around. I think Los Angeles should be a nice spot. He wanted to go to LA anyway. Obviously, with Henry Ruggs now exiting Vegas, a good opportunity for him to go there. I would hate to see him end up in Dallas. I don't think he'd end up there.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see where it ends up. Like I said, I don't believe he'll end up here, but if he did, I'd have no problem with it.
Yeah, whatever. It is, it's whatever. It's a one-year move for me. I just don't see it happening. Julie, man, thank you very much. How many picks am I getting in this game, fellas? Hopefully you get another one. You had a good pick last game, Julian, duct tape, and hopefully you get another one, man. That's all I can say. Probably not more than that, but hopefully you get at least one. We need to create some turnovers against the Raiders. Carr's been really good this year. Mighty Mango, man, what's going on? Mighty Mango in the house. Go Big Blue. What's going on, Mango, man? Glad to see you, buddy. You're the man. And Bill M says, F Vegas. No coach. No carpet. Go G-men. Win. All right, let's get a win, Bill, man. Let's get a win, man. Let's find a way to get a win this week, man. I know a lot of fans out there are going to be rooting for this team to lose because we're 2-6. They're going to be thinking draft picks. No, I can't do that. I just can't do that. This is a game I had them winning before the year started. But the Raiders have played a lot better than I thought they would. I was not high on the Raiders at all before the year started. I was not nearly as high as Baddog was, but they've been much better than I thought they'd be. Now, what I will say is in years past, and I've said this all week, the Raiders have started off really good the last 2 years. They started 6-3, they finished 8-8. They started 6-4 the previous year, they finished 7-9. So we'll see if they can continue to build off of that. And obviously, without Henry Ruggs there, that may change the dynamic of their offense. And if there is a weakness, one of the biggest weaknesses to this Raiders team is the same weakness we have. Their offensive line is complete trash. I think Mike Too Nice posted it today on Twitter. Their PFF grades are even worse than the Giants in terms of the offensive line. So
right, and somehow they find a way to win. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, better coaching, but
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the weakness of this team, and the way the Giants' defense has played the last 2 weeks. We'll see. I'm starting actually. Not that I think the defense is great, but I'm starting to buy in, Bad Dog, that this defense is starting to improve, and I think they are starting to turn the corner a little bit.
Yes.
I thought Patrick Graham's game plan last week was fantastic.
Yeah, the game that we let get away.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only good thing about it, the defense, but I thought his game plan was great.
But can't hear you. My headset just messed up, man.
What? All right, so the headset thing. What the hell is going on with that? Now people are telling me, I think Boomer Esiason came out and said that it's been a league-wide problem, yada, 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 yada. But my take on it is this, Bad Dog. In the press conference after the game, and I try to be as fair as I can with Joe Judge, and if it was a one-time occurrence, understandable. Even if it was a two-time occurrence, he said it's happened basically in every game this year. Well, you're a guy that's supposed to be this guy that thinks ahead. You're supposed to be this smart coach. If that's who you are, if this has been happening for 7-8 weeks before this, how do you not have a contingency plan? How do you not have a backup plan if the headphones go out for another straight week? So that's my take on that.
Oh, God, I mentioned that twice. I had a massive rant on him with the headsets the day after because that was my whole point. And, of course, again, people, on the internet, they misconstrue everything you say. They have a hard time comprehending. Like some guys like, oh, Joe Judge didn't blame the headset. I'm like, what? They're like, somebody told me I made that up, that he blamed the headset. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. The guy, first of all, he said, oh, nobody cares about your opinion. I'm like, you just watched a 16-minute video, then commented. Obviously, you care. Or you want to comment? And I go, yeah, Joe Judge didn't. I made that up. He didn't say it in his post-game presser with the eye roll thing. And then a bunch of people ripped that guy because I always like to pin stupid comments if I see him like that. And then he's like, oh, a lot of people said a lot of mean things to me. You need to apologize because Boomer Esiason said it's a league-wide problem. I never said that Joe Judge lied about the headset. My point was, like you just said, and I've said this twice now in videos, if you are a head coach and it happens once, you need to get with your coach. You got to say, hey, if this happens again, we're prepared. You can't tell me this is going on for 8 weeks and you still don't have a backup plan for this. Also, how come when we're playing against teams, they don't have to burn timeouts? Yeah. How come it's just us? How come the other team isn't burning on us? I guess just our headsets aren't working. Not to mention the fact that the NFL said we looked into it, there was no problem, and the Giants did not complain about headsets during the game where they have open communication if there's something wrong with the headsets. So I don't know how much of it's true, how much of it's lying. I don't know what the hell Boomer Esiason's talking about. I've seen no articles anywhere else about the headsets and how the NFL's wrong and how it's been a league-wide problem. I just heard through the grapevine from other people because I don't listen to Boomer and Gio. Who does, actually? You and I should have that spot, but that's another video. But seriously, my point was, Joe, if this happened all year, how do you not figure something else out in case, hey, they went down, okay, we're going to go to this so we don't have to burn the timeouts? I don't understand that. Again, a guy that preaches fundamentals and execution, and that's all he's about. And he's done a terrible job of executing as a coach, starting with throwing a challenge flag in a scoring play first game of the season. So I don't know. The headset thing's kind of funny to me, and it's interesting. I don't know how much of it's true, how much of it's false. I don't know. But that's Joe. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I never thought Joe Judge was lying. Like, I legitimately think there was probably a headset problem. My whole issue is that it's happened all year.
Yeah.
So if it's happened all year, by this point, you should have a plan in case it happens again.
Exactly.
But I don't think he was lying. I thought he was.
Me neither. I don't think he made that up. But
I think he's telling the truth when he said it. But
8 weeks, you can't figure something out in 8 weeks.
It's a poor excuse. It's a poor excuse.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You got to be prepared. That's your job. That is your job as a head coach, is to be prepared if something goes wrong. Yeah. I mean, come on. Let's say I don't know. Say in the middle of the game, say Patrick Graham gets really sick. I don't know. Just say he gets really sick and he can't be there. Do you not have a plan if your defensive coordinator is sick or has to miss time? Do you have no plan? Say he gets on COVID protocol or whatever, and he can't be there. Do you not have a backup plan? I'm sure you do. And this would be a snap decision, right? So if the headsets are going out week after week after week after week, and you have to keep burning timeouts, how do you not have something in place to say, hey, whoops, listen, these went out. All right, we're going to this. We're going to do this. I don't understand it, but the hell do I know? Nothing, according to a lot of people. But I think I know that if something's going wrong, I have listen, my computer started to shit in the bed. What'd I do? I got a new computer. Didn't want to, but I did.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. LT says 2 questions. Update on Barkley. What's up, LT, man? Thanks for popping in. How many first-round picks in the last decade has the New York Giants had that have become all pros? Hashtag drafting Wells everything. Thank you for popping in, LT. As far as Barkley goes, Barkley is out this week. They already said he's going to be out this week, which I'm not surprised by. When he went down, I thought he'd be back for the Bucs game because they have the bye. So he's got now 2 weeks to get back for that Bucs game. So I'm not surprised by that. He's still banged up. I think he'll probably be back for the Tampa Bay Bucs game. As far as your question about how many first-round picks, I mean, I think Beckham's the only one in terms of an all-pro in the last decade. Maybe Andrew Thomas could become that. He was playing really well this year before he went down. That's possible. Toney, who knows? He's only really played 3 games in terms of a full role with the Giants with all the injuries he's had and the way they eased him in at the beginning of the year. So, but it's really only been Odell Beckham in terms of being an all-pro in terms of a first-round pick in the last 10 years for the Giants. Yeah,
I mean, even before Beckham, I don't even remember the last time. You'd have to go back to Shockey, maybe. I remember Shockey was an all-pro as a rookie.
Oh, no, Eli wasn't an all-pro. He was a Pro Bowler.
But that wasn't in the last decade. That's the last 20 years. I mean, in the last decade.
Pierre Paul might have been all-pro 1 year.
Maybe. But he was drafted in 2010. That's not even the last decade.
That's a long time ago. It's a long time.
Yeah, because you go back to 2012, which was a decade. It was David Wilson, no. Justin Pugh, no. Odell, yes. Flowers, definitely not. Apple, definitely not. Ingram, Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Landon Collins.
Barkley was not an all-pro his rookie year, was he?
He had to be. I would think he led the league in scrimmage yards, actually. Yeah, I should have said Barkley. He had to be. He led the league in scrimmage yards. He probably
We know Daniel Jones isn't, and we know that Andrew Thomas hasn't been, and obviously, like you just said, we don't know anything about Kadarius Toney, but it hasn't been many. We haven't drafted well. I mean, everybody knows that.
And the other thing that you can say about it is we've been picking early, too. It's not like we're picking where the Patriots are picking.
Right.
We've been picking 2nd, 4th, 6th, 11th. Well, we traded back, so 20th this year. But we've been picking early, too. So, it's not good, man. The drafting has not gotten the job done, not just in the first round. That's not how you judge a GM. It's how you draft later in the draft, your 2nd, your 3rd, your 4th round selections. And this year, it looks like it's working out so far with Azeez Ojulari and Toney, but overall, his draft classes have not gotten the job done.
Yeah, I guess we're going to maybe see Aaron Robinson this week as well, our 3rd round pick. So,
hope so, man.
We'll see, because we haven't seen him. We haven't seen Ellerson Smith, 4th round pick. We haven't seen those guys at all. So,
and Bill, man, thank you so much. The Lord's Prayer, please God, no cancer, OBJ to infect our locker room. Who's with a selfish player? Hey, Bill, man, I'm not the biggest Beckham fan. I'll be the first to say it. I know it's not going to happen. So I know Giants fans want him here. I'm not going to fight with him. It's not going to happen. So, but if he comes here, will I scream? No, I'll root my ass off for him. He's a New York Giant. I root for the football team, and I still think he's a pretty good player. I don't think he's what he was, like some people may think. You know, with all the videos with Baker Mayfield, I still think he's a good receiver. I think he was in a really bad situation. I just don't see it happening. It's just not going to happen. And if I'm the Giants, if I'm being honest, and other than to appease the fans, like you said, Bad Dog, to give them something to root for, but in terms of on the field, what's the real benefit if you're bringing Odell Beckham? There
is no. I like I said, he's a body.
Yeah.
We don't have any receivers, and again, it's for the fans. Honestly, I mean that's really all it's for. As far as being a selfish player in a locker room cancer, does it really matter? We're 2-6. But what's our record since he left? I know our record wasn't good when he was here. What's our record since he left? We're 2-6,
just as bad as it was.
So that's what 8-16 and 4-12, right? Or 5-11. 5-11.
We were 3-13.
No, not in 2019. We were 4-12.
No, I'm saying when he was here in 17, we were 3-13 when he got hurt, and then 5-11 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was.
So we were 4-12, right? 6-10. That's 10-22. So we're 12-28 since he left. So does he really infect the locker room? Does he really hurt the culture of the locker room? What is the locker room here? What is the culture with the New York Giants? What the hell is it? Where is it going? It sucks. Yeah. Culture, winning is culture. That's it. Is Kadarius Toney? Listen, I understand. I was definitely a guy that said Odell Beckham's a selfish guy. Odell Beckham used to throw Eli under the bus. I didn't like that. I feel like maybe he hasn't grown up. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
That I will debate you on. I don't think he's grown up.
But regardless,
he forced his way out of Cleveland, and anybody that thinks that he didn't tell his dad to post that video, they're out of their mind. So I still think
he didn't want to go to Cleveland. We all know that. He didn't want to be there. So he's not happy there. But I forgot where I was going with that. But regardless, I mean, they said they got rid of him because of character issues. And he definitely had his issues. Don't get me wrong. The guy definitely had issues. DeAndre Baker, high-profile guy or no?
No.
Kadarius Toney, what do you think about him? You see his tweet about Henry Ruggs? Do you think that he's a high character guy?
Let me get your take on that, because a lot of people, I gave my opinion on it, and maybe some people misinterpreted what I said. A lot of people got upset, not a lot, but some people were like, I disagree with you, Chris. Like, what was your take on the Kadarius Toney tweet regarding the Henry Ruggs situation? Because I'll give my opinion real quick. I understand that it was meant from a good place. I understand that he was trying to stick up for a guy that he viewed as his friend. But the way that I read that tweet, Baddog, was basically, listen, guys, he's young. And that's where he lost me in the tweet, where he's starting to use his age as an excuse for him driving 160 miles an hour drunk and killing a woman and her dog. That's where he lost me with his tweet, where he started to use it. That's at least the way I interpret it. Do I think he's a bad guy? No. Do I change my opinion of him as a human being because of it? No. Do I think it was a smart tweet? Absolutely not, given the circumstance.
Well, in life, you make decisions. And that's really what it comes down to. Some decisions are good decisions, and Henry Ruggs made a really bad decision. And it's unfortunate that these athletes, a lot of them are young, and they feel like they're bulletproof. Listen, I didn't even play in the NFL when I was 22 years old. I don't know how old. I think Ruggs was 22, 23. When I was that age, I felt bulletproof too. It is amazing, but I certainly didn't make that kind of money. And with today's technology, how easy it is to just pick up a phone and get an Uber or a taxi, limo, whatever. Why would you drive drunk? Just get a ride. I don't know why these guys continue to do that. As far as Tony's tweet goes, listen, Kadarius Toney, that guy's got no idea how to express himself at all. But that's a problem. That's why social media is a problem, because once you hit send, man, you can't take it back. When you're a professional athlete and you hit send on Instagram or Twitter or wherever else, Facebook, I don't know if athletes are on Facebook or not, but as soon as you hit that send, you can't take that back, because there's thousands of eyes that have screenshotted it, retweeted it. You're never getting rid of it. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a smart thing to say. Joe Judge had to take up for him again. And like I said, I mean, I guess that's my thing. They said they wanted to get rid of Odell because of his character and all this stuff. And I understood and I agreed and said, yes, listen, I was the first person to say the guy should have got traded in 2017. I said that. And then in 2018, I reiterated he should go to the Browns, which is exactly where he ended up. But my thing is, if you're going to bring in guys like Kadarius Toney and DeAndre Baker here, what the hell were you talking about, Gettleman? What are you talking about? Well, they're the same thing. I understand Beckham was making a lot of money and you wanted to move him out for that reason. But if you're going to talk about the culture and you're going to talk about personalities, I mean, it's not like he's bringing in the most high character guys. Listen, I think Tim and Online Big Blue says this: give me a team full of assholes that win games. I don't care how the hell they are as people. I don't know them.
Lawrence Taylor wasn't a saint.
Right. I don't know these people. I'll never know them. I'll never sit down to dinner with these guys.
Listen, Baddog. At the end of the day,
give me guys that win.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. If the team's winning, like we frequently hear fans complain about the stadium. We frequently hear fans complain about the uniforms, the character. When the team's winning, nobody cares. Right. Nobody cares. Now, obviously, a guy like Henry Ruggs, that's another story. But
yeah, that's a little different.
That's an extreme. But
that's different than saying my quarterback can't get me the ball.
Yeah, but when your team's not winning and you have guys like that, then yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it stands out.
Yeah. And Blue Column, man, thank you very much. Breaking news: Giants hiring Astros IT department. All right, what's up there, Blue Column, man?
Some chest buzzers.
And John Letourneau. He says, Stella and stand up, fellas, to the best Giants creators, which makes me sick, but love y'all, FEF. Who is worse, Gettleman or Howie? Gettleman. I'm going to actually be as fair as I can, and I bash the Eagles whenever I can, whenever I feel like I can, because I hate your football team to death. I actually think Howie Roseman had a fantastic offseason. If I'm being completely honest with you. And he was a guy that I thought did a horrible job for you the last 2 or 3 years. Some of the trades that Roseman made this year, I mean, you think about it. He got, what's his name? He got Minshew for a 6th-round pick. Then he trades Flacco. He gets the 6th-round pick back for free. He trades down in the draft. He gets a future 1st-round pick. Now they got 3 first-round picks at next year's draft.
They dumped Carson Wentz's salary as well.
Yeah, I think Howie Roseman actually had a really good year this year for you.
I tell Eagle fans all the time, I'll trade you Howie Roseman for Gettleman right now.
Yeah, I think he had a really good offseason for you guys. Not the last couple of years, but this year I think he did a really good job. And King Trizzy, man, thank you very much. Why are fans acting like we're too good for anyone? Yeah, I mean, listen, if they bring him in, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to scream. I just don't think it's a good fit. I view Odell as a guy that wants to win. And like any player, but he's a guy that is like, he's going to let you know about it. He's going to go to the press. He's, and the Giants are in no way, shape, or form in a place to win. He's a guy that's going to want to put up unbelievable numbers. He's not going to have that here. With the Jason Garrett offense, with the offensive line that we have, I just don't view it as a fit, other than the fact that he would appease to the fan base and make people happy. But in terms of a fit for, like, if you like Odell Beckham, Baddog, the Giants are like the last place you should want him to go. Like, to me, it's one of the worst fits in terms of where he could go.
Listen, I don't know. Again, I don't know how well he fits here. It's not like I'm clamoring for the guy to come back here. But if for whatever reason he decided he wanted to come back here and they wanted to take him back, I wouldn't have a problem. Let me ask you this is good. Because I was thinking about this today. How many fans love Odell Beckham? Like, can't let him go. And how many Giants fans like, get that guy the hell away from here? Like Bill said, to get a cancer out of the locker room and all this other stuff. And then he got Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Who's more polarizing between the Giants fan base? Because you got guys that just will protect Daniel Jones at all costs. You got guys that are ready to throw Daniel Jones away at all costs. And then you got people, like I said, that just won't let Odell Beckham go. And there's people like, I'm so done with Odell Beckham. Who is more polarizing? I don't know if I've ever seen a fan base more split on players than Daniel Jones and Odell Beckham.
It's not that weird with Jones because he's the quarterback. I just feel like that's always going to be a hot topic of conversation with a fan base, with a football team. When the team's not doing well, they're going to be split between whether or not they should push forward the quarterback or replace him.
I'll be honest. I don't see any Eagles fans sticking up for Jalen Hurts at all. I really don't. They're all ready to get rid of him. They're all ready to say, put Gardner Minshew in there.
Yeah, because they don't have as strong as a commitment with him, right? Because he was a 2nd-round pick. But yeah, it's fair. But I don't think it's that weird that there's a debate about the quarterback position. With Beckham, to me, it's kind of weird. I get that he was the face of the franchise, especially for a lot of the younger generation. He was really the only thing, like you said, to look forward to for about 3 or 4 years when this team was in the darkest times.
I think we're in the darkest times now.
Yeah. It's at least equally as bad when he was with the team his last 2 years. I still say 2017, not his fault, obviously, but I still say 2017 is the worst year I've ever endured as a Giant fan. But I mean, this is right there. It hasn't gotten better.
2019 was pretty rough too.
I understand the why people like him, but it's been 4 years, and people still talk about the guy. It is what it is. But if he comes back, I'll root for him. That's all I got to say. Styles, man, thank you very much. Love watching y'all. I'm a Florida local, and attending the Bucks game on Monday Night Football is my first game, and sitting in the end zone. Hopefully, we can get it in. Hopefully, you get to celebrate a touchdown, man. And hopefully, you have a great time at the game. And hopefully we're coming up a win.
Hopefully you can celebrate a touchdown that puts us ahead and not a touchdown that just makes the score closer.
Yeah, not a garbage time touchdown. A go-ahead touchdown.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, listen, he did it to him the first time he played him. There was no Brady there, obviously. We had a chance to beat them last year, and Daniel Jones had one of the worst games of his career in that one. So we'll see.
And Dave, he says, gentlemen, happy Friday. Good evening to everyone except Jason Garrett's play calling. Yeah, Garrett's play calling was not good last week. I'll say that. I thought the week before it was. But Garrett's play calling last week was not very good. There was a number of things that were not very good, but that was definitely one of the things that you could definitely point to last week. And I think we were saying that at the beginning of the game. They weren't taking any shots. Now, again, they couldn't block, but they weren't taking any shots down the field. It was too vanilla. For sure. Jason Garrett called a really bad game last week. Kyle, you were going to say something, Bad Dog?
No.
Okay. Kyle Patrick says, bing, bong. Yeah, let's go Knicks, man. Did you watch the game, Bad Dog?
It's funny. I've seen this year. Well, I've seen it with the Lakers a couple of times now, but other teams as well. It's amazing how when one team gets up really big early in the first quarter, it's like they can't sustain that energy or they take their foot off. And then the other team continues to get closer and closer. And then all of a sudden it's a game and the other team can't get it back. It's amazing how the Knicks were down by 19 in the first quarter. And at one point they were up by 22. That's when I came downstairs. I'm like, all right, this game's over. So I came down here. They're up 112-90. I'm like, they'd outscored them 93-52 through the next 2.5 quarters. It's insane. One thing I say about the Knicks, I said it last year, they're fighters. They did this last year. They don't give up. They get down big and they never quit. Nobody ever really blows them out. Then again, it's because they're extremely deep. They all have a certain skill set. They all have really good role players. Derrick Rose was amazing tonight. They can all shoot the three. Obi Toppin's playing a lot better this year. Randall does what he does. It's good to see Mitchell Robinson back out there. He's a big presence in the paint. My big thing was there's 4 minutes to go in the game or 5 minutes to go in the game. The Knicks are up by 17, and there's Nerlens Noel diving on the ground for a loose ball. And I'm like, see, that's Tom Thibodeau. That is Tibbs. That's Thibodeau, whatever. I've heard it pronounced either way.
I always say Thibodeau, but I think it's pronounced Thibodeau. But Thibodeau just rolls off the tongue better. But
it does. But Coach T, they fight for him, and after they lost a couple of games, probably shouldn't have lost to the Pacers. They're not a really good team. They have a bad loss. They come back. They beat the defending champs when they're down by 19. The Knicks teams in the past would have folded. They would have got blown out by 42. Not this team.
Yeah, great effort tonight by the Knicks, man. I said it at the end of my stream. I'm like, this is going to be one of the signature wins of the year. So great effort tonight. Yeah. I want to shout out Cody. I missed this earlier. Thank you for being a member, man. Says, what's up, guys? Authentic has been dogging DJ on Twitter. I could see Mara bringing OBJ back if Getty is gone. Yeah, well, that would be next year. By the way, you all still going to the – I am. Bad Dog said he's not going to the Philly game because he had to buy a new computer that cost him a lot of money. But I will be there. Yeah, I've seen Authentic Dog and Daniel Jones, and I get it. I get it. I get it. But thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I'm going to read the other members chat before we get in, and we're going to get the chef. Let me just see them because I don't like to forget those. I saw Stephen Lilly. Member for 23 months from across the pond. Only light in the darkest of times. You two plonkers. You make the hard times easy. Thank you. Let's go Giants. Number 56 goat. Steven Lilly's the best, man.
Steven's the best.
Steven's the best, man. Love you, Steve.
Yep.
Chef, man, thank you very much.
Damn Wally that guy is.
Hold on. Just for Steve. Hold on. How do I turn this off again? Hold on.
This. Yeah, just like this. There you go. There you go, Steven.
Yeah, he did it. He did it for you. You're still going to have to look at my face, Steve. Chef, man, thank you very much. Sup, boys. Hope all is well. Brilly, blank Caden Smith. I'm out of the game, guys. Going to invest my Caden Smith money into something else. You got to keep doing it, though. It's like playing the lottery. Like, one of these weeks, it's going to hit, and you're going to be like, oh, my God, how did I not bet Caden? Like, I feel like you got to at least do it for the rest of the year. Because it's good. He should have got part of it for going to Kyle Rudolph last game. Because you know what's going to happen, Mad Dog? The week he doesn't bet it, Caden Smith's going to catch the first. Of course, I talk like the lottery. You play the number every day, and then the one day you don't play the hits. So. He's got to do it for the rest of the year. Not after this year, but you got to do it for the rest of the year. Otherwise, you'll regret it, man. Absolutely. Chris, thanks for popping in, man. Planning on going to the Washington football team at New York Giants on January 9th. Looking forward to celebrating Gettleman's last day. Yeah, I'm sure you'll see a lot of those signs at that game if he's not fired already. Ronald, he says, Jason Garrett's super aggressive versus top defenses and conservative against bottom defenses. Makes no sense. His philosophy is to try to get 3.5 yards at a time. Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't get it. I didn't love the offensive game plan this past week. No denying it. And I can't blame it all on the offensive line. Like the last drive, yes, the offensive line was pathetic on all three plays, but can't blame it all on the offensive line. They didn't take enough shots down the field. They only threw one ball, I think, over like 30 yards the entire game, and that was the throw to John Ross where Ross made a great catch, and there was a pass interference. I don't even understand how this offense is so different from week to week. It's very strange. Yeah. They don't have an identity. That's how. That's true. They don't. We say that all the time. Tiana, she says, Nats win the World Series before last. Now the Braves, I'm sick about that. Hopefully our turn is coming soon. Yeah, Tiana, as a Mets fan. And the funny thing is, Tiana, with both of those teams, they both weren't that good. Like the Nationals just snuck into the playoffs, bad dog, and they had a good pitching staff, so they got hot in the playoffs and they won. And the Braves, I've said it now for weeks, like if it wasn't for the Mets, the Braves don't even make the playoffs. Like if the Mets didn't fall apart at the trade deadline, they would have had a 6-7 game lead, and the Braves aren't buyers. So I blame the Mets for that one. But yeah, I'm with you. Like we've had much better teams than both of those teams when they won the World Series. We just can't find a way to win.
Yeah, complete turnarounds for both of those teams. Got hot at the right time. The Braves are surprising. Like the Nationals are hot for a long. They got off to a bad start, but they were hot for a really long time. I didn't see the Braves. I didn't see them beating Milwaukee. I definitely didn't see them beating Dodgers. Obviously, I rooted for them against the Astros for obvious reasons. The American League doesn't like the Astros, so
I don't think baseball likes the Astros.
well, there you go. Well, you guys Mets fans had to be rooting for you. They don't want to see a rival win.
I can't let the
Braves. When the Astros are playing the Red Sox, people are like, "Oh, who are you rooting for?" I'm like, "I'm rooting for the Astros. That ain't close. I'm not rooting for Boston. Hell no."
With me, man. For Yankees fans that don't know, the Braves are my Boston.
Yeah,
so
hell no.
Can't root for them. And John, man, thank you very much. Bad dog. The reason most Eagle fans didn't stick up for Hurts because you were right about him with the throwing, but we are hoping that he can improve, but Sirianni has to play to his strengths. Sirianni sucks as a play caller.
You better off having Minshew play. Listen, Johnny, you better off seeing what you got in Minshew. Your season's over. I know you beat the pathetic Lions. I get that, but you're not going anywhere. You're not making the playoffs. See what you got in Minshew. If Minshew becomes better than Jalen Hurts, you can trade Jalen Hurts. Somebody will give you something for him. You could probably get more than a 6th-round pick for him. So that's what you would do. Why not? Jalen Hurts was not the guy.
You just keep him as a backup. You're not paying him anything.
Right. So I don't know, man. I just, like I said, it's just funny. The Eagle fans gave up on him real fast. Well, not even gave up. They saw what he is real fast. And I don't know, man. It's weird. It's interesting. I don't know.
Ronald says, I will buy Bad Dog's. I don't know if that's parking ticket or just ticket to the game.
Trust me, it's not the ticket. It's everything that goes with the game. That game last time we went cost me $1,600 between the travel, the fueling up the car, the tolls, the hotel room, the food, all that stuff, man. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't expect. Listen, I try to get away with the computer stuff, but you guys know. When I was streaming with Chris or StreamYard, it would knock me out a couple times. The thing was laggy. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even get onto Google Chrome anymore, even if I wasn't. Like, it just wouldn't work. Like, the RAM was used up. That computer is almost 13 years old. I bought it in 2009. It lasted a long time. So what I do, I went out and I got the same exact computer. But they don't get any cheaper. TVs get cheaper. Computers do not. Trust me. But same thing. 21.5-inch screen. I didn't need a 27-inch screen was an extra $600. What do I need that for? I don't. I can definitely tell the camera's better on this one though.
Yeah, the camera.
I can definitely tell it's more clear.
That looks good. Maybe you won't have a face for radio.
No, well, I told people like God, a high def, Bad Dog. Shut your eyes. Just listen.
Bill says, boys, how do we win Sunday given the current lineup? Specifics, please. I mean, I do think our defense is going to have a good game this week. I really do. And maybe I'll be wrong, but I really think our defense is going to have a good game this week. The Raiders offensive line is not good. It's actually, like I said, it's almost as bad as ours. It's really bad. So I do think we'll be able to generate pressure. And I think it's going to be much like the Chiefs game where we have to create some turnovers. I think we will be able to create some turnovers against the Raiders. I don't think their team's as good as their record. That's just my honest opinion. I think we can win, but I think it's going to come down to our defensive line. If our defensive line plays as good as it did last week and we get consistent pressure, I think we stand a really good chance to win this football game. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. So I think the defense is going to have to win us this game. I don't trust the offense to put up a ton of points. I don't care who we're going up against. Will we have a week or two where it happens? Sure. But how could you trust this offense to score more than 24 points in a game with all the injuries and the way they played this year? So I think the defense is going to have to win us the game, but the good news is I think they stand a chance against this Oakland team. The offensive line is really bad. So I think we got a shot. I really do, especially without Henry Ruggs in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Bill, I think it's the same thing that we say every week. Win the turnover battle, run the ball, get off the field on third down. I think that the Raiders are there to be had this week again with the Henry Ruggs thing. I know they're coming off a bye, but they have to travel across the country to play in MetLife Stadium. And again, for me, I don't know why, man. This is just one of those weird games. Remember back in 2017 when we were 1-9, whatever it was, and we beat the Chiefs 12-9. It's just something stupid. Like, we had no business beating the Chiefs
And we
or
have the
98 when the Broncos were undefeated and we beat them. Like this has the feel of one of those games where it's going to be ugly, but we're going to find a way to win like 23-20. But again, I'm not picking us because I definitely, like I said, the Raiders are my sleeper in the AFC. But if I'm ever going to take the Giants in a money line, because I don't know what the spread is, I would imagine the Raiders are 3.5, 4.5 point favorites. Money line is probably like plus 190. What's that?
I'd guess 3 if I had to guess. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up the spread.
But if they're plus, is it 3?
3 points.
So what's the money line? 175?
One plus 150.
150. All right. So if you're ever going to take the Giants in a money line, I think this might be a good week to do it. Maybe I will do that. Who the hell knows?
1.5 to 1 on your money. I'm with you, man. And I don't even want to pick the Giants because I feel like we're going to lose every week. That's just my mindset at this point. But this is one of those games, and I said it at the beginning of the week. I just have that feeling this week that we may win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we win this game.
It's a feeling that we have I didn't think we'd beat the Chiefs. I definitely didn't think we were going to beat the Rams. I didn't even think we were going to beat the Panthers. But again, I'm not saying I think we're going to win, but I have a feeling that we could.
By no means would I be surprised at all if we lose by 20 either. But
right.
But
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be surprised if they blew us out. I would be surprised if this isn't close.
Nothing would surprise me with this team. But I think it's gonna be a close game. I think the Giants are gonna have an opportunity to win it this week because I honestly do believe the defense is starting to play a lot better.
Yeah.
Formula Fitness says I don't see a chance in hell we win this game. I see a chance in hell. I'll probably say next week I don't see a chance in hell, but or 2 weeks rather. But I think we have a chance in hell this week. Depressed Giants fan, man, thank you very much, man. He says, how about the Knicks, baby? Great win tonight, man. Signature win of the year, in my opinion. Signature win of the year.
Maybe you can change. You should, since people get on me for being pessimistic, you should change your name from Depressed Giants fan to Happy Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Change it up. Change up the energy.
And Foxy Dog brings up a great point. That's a guy we definitely got to worry about in this game. I know I think he's got like the most pressures in football. I'm curious to look up his stats real quick. But yeah, Max Crosby is definitely, especially with our offensive line, he's got 5 sacks this year. But that's definitely this week.
Me and my wife actually had Max Crosby do a cameo for my brother-in-law's birthday.
Because you're Raiders.
So know all about Max Crosby. Yes,
that's pretty cool. He's a damn good player.
Yep.
Rolly, man, thank you very much. Why is it always Garrett to blame and not Jones? Well, Jones is definitely to blame too. I mean, Jones had a lot to do with that loss this week. I would say he played okay outside of the first drive, but that first drive cost us the football game. That was definitely a major reason why we lost, that horrible interception. You can't forget that. You know, he's too far along in his career to have like one-offs, to be like, well, if he didn't do this, he played pretty well. So no, Jones is definitely part of the problem. I wouldn't say he was the main reason we lost, but he was definitely part of the reason we lost. That interception on the first drive was probably his worst throw of the year. He didn't look off the defender. It was a first read throw, and he threw it right at him. So Jones is definitely part of the problem in that game. Why can't we tell fans Jones doesn't make the right reads? He didn't on that play for sure. Or how about we tell the fans Garrett is limited to what Jones could do? Well, he's also limited because of the surrounding talent on the team, not just Jones, but yes. I agree.
I brought this up a while back, and I don't remember if it was a live stream or video. I said this about Joe Judge in the
See, I just got to disagree with this, by the way. Amazing guy. And I'm curious to get back. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just see this. And I see another person say, no, it didn't. If Jones doesn't throw that interception, the Giants win. I don't care if it happened in the first quarter. He gave them 7 points. He literally handed them 7 points. So that's one of the one-offs that you say at the end of the game. If he didn't do that, the Giants win the game. So, yes, I'm not saying it was the sole reason, but it absolutely was part of the reason why the Giants lost the game. Yes, it was.
Listen, that was such a massive, again, it happened early in the game, so the Giants had plenty of opportunity to win the game. So, no, that single play definitely did not cost us the game. Like Dexter Lawrence jumping off sides, that cost us the game. Okay,
it was part
of it. The massive shift in momentum when you just got to stop on the goal line, your defense gets an interception, and you start off, and all of a sudden you've held them. They had the ball first. You bent, you didn't break. You got it back, and then the first pass he throws is right to the defender, and they got the ball right back where they started. and the defense gave up a touchdown. So it absolutely destroyed any momentum that the Giants had. And then as a team that loses, you get that, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. So obviously it was a major reason we lost. Don't get me wrong. Again, sole reason we lost, no. But it was a huge play early in that game that if we go down and score, we get a good drive. Obviously the game's much different, but it didn't happen. And that just wasn't a good it was a terrible pass. It was a terrible pass. I forgot what I was talking about before that.
Yeah,
The Garrett thing. I mentioned this before about Joe Judge's conservative play calling, and people say Garrett's conservative. Again, Joe Judge and Jason Garrett did not draft Daniel Jones. Do you think that they call this because they don't believe he can do it? I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not in the locker room, and sometimes I think, they didn't draft him, so do they not have confidence in him? That he can do it, they call those conservative plays because they don't believe he can be aggressive. I don't know.
I'm going to be as honest as I can with this. I really believe that is not the case. Because Joe Judge took this job knowing full well that Daniel Jones was going to be his quarterback, and Jason Garrett took this job knowing full well that Daniel Jones was going to be
Garrett.
I think it's less, and I'm not saying they think he's Pat Mahomes because he's not, but I think it's less that they don't believe in Jones, and it's more they don't believe in the overall offensive roster.
Garrett, I get. Do you think Joe Judge gets a head coaching job anywhere else in the NFL? Don't you think if you have that opportunity to say, I don't give a damn who the hell my quarterback is, I'm taking the head coaching job because I'm not going to get that offer anyway.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair point. But I honestly think it's the overall, and Jones is part of that, but I think it's the overall offense. Like, they don't trust the offensive line. They know they can't establish so they play conservatively because of that.
And again, that's a fair point too. But
this way, Baddog, if they had a line like the Browns, I think they would be a lot more aggressive.
The reason I ask is because obviously with Pat Shurmur there and the offensive line still sucked.
Yeah.
And Barkley was hurt for a lot of 2019 as well. They still didn't mind having Daniel Jones take shots.
I mean, if that's the case, Joe Judge shouldn't be our head coach.
He might not be anymore.
If he doesn't believe in his quarterback, he should have never taken this job to begin with. Because if he had a plan, he had to know Jones was going to be his quarterback the first 2 or 3 years.
This could have been his one opportunity to take.
Then the Giants shouldn't have hired him.
Well, we all know how John Mara is. We all know the reason we're in the state we're in as a franchise, and he's the major culprit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the case, but I think it's if I had to guess, I think it's the overall offense, but Jones is a part of it. Name us, man. Thank you very much. Happy Friday, fellas. Here's the hoping. We have a bounce back game this Sunday, 38-30. Let's go. I think it's gonna be lower scoring than that.
I wish we get 38 points in a game.
Yeah,
I don't know the last time we scored that much.
I think it's gonna be like a 21-17 type game. I think it's gonna be lower scoring. I do think our defense will show up and they'll keep the Raiders to under 27. I think it'll be a relatively middle of the road type game, maybe a 24-21, 21-17, something like that. And I think it will be close. I think it'll be 3 points either way. I think it's gonna be a really close game, but I don't see it being that
ugly as 23-20, one way or the other.
Yeah, that's about what I see. Something like that. 23-20, 24-20, something like that. Stephen Lilly, man, thank you very much, man. He says, with Judge in control, the only thing you could bet on with the Giants is that by the end of the third quarter, we have no timeouts, and he needs to learn to do basics. Oh my God, man. I can't get over how bad his timeouts have been this year. It's been so bad, Lily. It's been beyond bad, man. Can't get over it, man.
Hold on a second. I got to go to the tape. Okay. What? Time out. I had to go to the tape right there.
My God. I'm going to tell you this right now, Baddog. Our next head coach, if they do move on from Judge at the end of the year, our next head coach, that phrase needs to be banned. Like,
I got to go to the tape. The last 3 coaches, I got to go to the tape.
They have to tell the coach the second he signs on the dotted line. Part of his contract is that you cannot say that line at the end of the game to the press. You cannot say, I'm going to go look at the tape. And I say it every week, Baddog. When is the press going to learn? If you say, all right, well, you looked at the tape the previous week, so I'm going to ask you the same question again this week. Now give me my answer.
Right.
Go at him. Don't let him keep using that as an excuse.
I told you I would be asking him, You got to go to the tape, Joe. What, are you not watching the game? What are you going to see on the tape that you're not watching the game? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? Picking your nose?
Look at the tape.
With that?
I'm gonna go look at the tape. It's I can't stand it, man. I used to pull my hair out when McAdoo used to say it all the time too.
That's why I have no hair left. McAdoo, Shermer, now Judge. I've got to go to the tape on that one. I'll know more when I look at the tape.
Osama bin Drippin, man. He says last year we said by midseason of year 3, we'll know who DJ is. He has 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's ranked 23rd on ESPN, 24th PFF, 25th EPA. We know who he is, folks. That's fair. I mean, yeah. I'll say this. We know he's not a franchise quarterback, at least right now. We know that. I could say that conclusively right now. I always want to leave open a little bit of a window to change my opinion. And everybody's definition of a franchise quarterback is different. Mine, Baddog, and I say it all the time. Are you willing? Do you think you can win a Super? And let's ask everybody in the chat, be honest with yourselves. And I'm not saying this can't change. He could mature as a player. It's possible if you improve the team around him. But right now, can you say you can win a Super Bowl paying him 15 to 20% of the team's cap? Because that is what a franchise quarterback is. If you can't do that, you should not be a franchise quarterback, because that's what quarterbacks get paid after their rookie contract.
I don't believe they can. We're maxed out on the contract now. We're maxed out at cap space now. It's the maximum talent you're going to have around him right now, because by the time we get our cap free, which is 2023, then you're going to have to make your decision on Daniel Jones. So you got the most talent. I know guys are hurt, but you know what? Unfortunately, that doesn't relieve the cap. Kenny Golladay can miss every game. We still have to pay him his money. Saquon Barkley, we still got to pay him his money. All these guys, we got to pay them their money. And even when we do get rid of Nate Solder and Evan Ingram, we're still really strapped. So you have as much talent as you're going to get around him. And it's unfortunate that we have a bunch of injury-prone players, but that's what he has. And by the end of year 4, we may still not know what he is. And you can't take that chance going, yeah, we'll give him. And even when people say, oh, he'll take a discount, I don't know what a discount is for quarterback. When I'm saying 5 years, 150, I think that is a discount. I think $30 million a year is a discount.
It certainly will be in 2 years.
Roethlisberger got $32 million a year. Tannehill got $32 million a year. Granted, it was for 2 years, but that's a lot of money. Regardless, if Daniel Jones took $28 million if he's getting $140, do you want to give him $140 for the next 5 years? Not knowing what he is, because, well, we haven't had anything.
Yeah, and and if we're being as fair as we can, a big part of the reason we don't know what he is because of the talent around him. But the Jets had to do the same thing with Sam Darnold. There's anybody that's being fair knows the Giants did not set Daniel Jones up for success. He was put in a really bad situation. But
listen, you saw my comment the other day, right?
Yeah.
On our 3rd show ever. When we were talking, I went back and watched our first 3.
Yeah, I saw your comment today. I didn't get a chance to watch what you were talking about, but I saw your comment.
No, at 1405, you say if you miss on a quarterback, you're setting your franchise back for 3 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I put you, and then I go on to elaborate on, yes, we can't miss on this pick. And we start.
And I'm going to say the same thing this year, by the way, Baddog. That's why I don't want to draft the quarterback.
No, I understand, but it's funny because I'm like, here we are, Chris, we're 3 years later, and we are no better. So to me, that's saying, well, you go back to that 2018 show, and here we are in 2021. That's saying we missed. In my opinion, that's saying we missed. We have not gotten better, and this guy's coming up. His rookie contract's up next year. Now, they can 5th year option him. Obviously, they can franchise him year 6 if they choose. There's a lot of things they can do with him. Unfortunately, unless we draft really well next year, we're not going out and signing any free agents. So, and these guys got to stay healthy, and there's no guarantee they're going to, because they're always hurt. So we can't even depend on Saquon Barkley. We can't depend on Kenny Golladay. We can't even depend on Kadarius Toney. We can't depend on the offensive line. We don't know what the hell we can depend on. So
I think the plan's as clear as day next year. You can't
get rid of Gettleman. That's number
if
one.
I'm the GM, which I will never be, but I could only answer this based off if I was.
I'll hire you.
All right, I appreciate that. I think the plan is as clear as day next year. It's you stick with Jones for one more year, or you get a stopgap, whatever you decide to do, but you don't draft your quarterback. You don't in a quarterback draft class that is not a rich quarterback draft class. You stick with Jones for one more year. You fill out the rest of the offensive line. You get the talent on the offensive line, and then you get a real, true evaluation of Jones. And if he does not become that top 5, top 6 quarterback, then you draft a quarterback in the following draft. and you bring him into a situation where he's on the rookie contract. He has 5 years with an open window with a much better situation than what Daniel Jones inherited. You reset the rookie clock and you give your rookie quarterback a true opportunity to succeed. I think that is the obvious plan, what the New York Giants should do next year. Will they do it? I don't know, but that is what I think they should do.
3 years ago, same thing. We're talking about building the offensive line, talking about, we said Josh Allen will never be there at 6, but we're saying if he is, would you trade down and build the offensive line, or would you take him? And we're both like, I'm thinking going back and getting more offensive line up. We were talking about this in 2018. So again, it hasn't changed in 3 years. And when I go back and watch those first 3 episodes, I'm not saying that we're like, it's just funny. Like when I watched the very beginning of the start of our show, I feel like we knew we were a bad team, but I felt like we seemed more positive, like they were going to turn this around. It was going to take a little time, but we had a new GM. Barkley was having a great year. We were going to pick high in the draft. We were probably going to go with some offensive line. We definitely did not expect it. We never mentioned Daniel Jones once until like 2 days before the draft.
Yeah.
It just seemed like we had a lot more confidence that we were going to turn this around. And here we are 3 years later. Now it's like, Jesus, is this ever going to stop? Well, it's just crazy how.
And what I'm scared to death of, Bad Dog, and it's why I'm scared they're going to do the same thing. I'm scared they're going to draft another quarterback and they're going to put him in just as bad of a situation. And it's going to set us back another 3 to 5 years. And that's what I fear next year. I want to fix the surrounding roster, something that they didn't do the first time around before they drafted it.
That's why we need to. That's why Gettleman's got to be gone. His pledge to Giants and the Giants fans was, "I'm going to fix the offense," and he never did it. He never did it. And then you take a running back 2nd, and you take a quarterback 6th with no offensive line, and you probably ruin both of their careers as Giants. Barkley. Unless something drastically changes, I can't see the Giants giving him money. I wouldn't give him money. No way. No way am I signing Saquon Barkley. No, I'm putting that money elsewhere. Not just spending a high draft pick and running back.
A bargain contract, maybe, but not for what we think he's going to command.
And then Jones, I don't know. I wouldn't pay him franchise quarterback money either. There's just not enough here to win with him getting 12% of the cap or whatever the hell he would.
You got to be real. You got to be fair. I mean,
yeah.
Ronald, man, thank you very much. At Roldy, he is analytically one of the best intermediate and deep ball throwers by any metric, and we refuse to attack the defense at multiple levels. I mean, that's been what a lot of people have said, and that's probably accurate. You know, I'm not the biggest analytic guy, and I do think Jones has talent. It's why I've stuck up for him as much as I have, but I also got to be fair. You know, the NFL is not a fair league. Not every quarterback is granted the same situation. And I say it all the time. It's very hard to win once your quarterback gets paid. It's why you have to be able to truly evaluate your quarterback in today's NFL within the first 3 or 4 years. And even though it may not be fair, it definitely hasn't been for Jones. He hasn't done enough, at least so far, for me to come out and say, yeah, I think they need to give this guy a contract extension. So, you know, I hope they change my opinion. I don't want to have to draft another quarterback, but right now, how could I say that if I'm being honest? Osama bin Drippin, he says, at Ronald Gagne, DJ ranked 29th in deep ball accuracy in 2021. I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know. I felt like I feel like Daniel Jones throws the ball well down the field. A lot of that has to do with the offensive line, not protecting them. I mean, the last drive against Kansas City was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And then, you know, I'm thinking to myself, I know Jones didn't have much time on 4th down, but you got to heave the damn ball up in here. You got to throw it.
Here's what I'm going to say on that play. I watched it back like 3 times. I think I'm going to actually, and it's not an excuse. It was like 4th and 20. And I think Jones knew because literally he had a second. Like he knew at that point, his receivers are not near 20 yards down the field. And he knew his only chance there was to try to step up and buy time because they got immediate. Like if it was 4th and 8, throw it right away. I agree. But because it's 4th and 20, it's going to take you 3 seconds for those wide receivers to get in a spot where they can pick up that first down. So for me, I think Jones tried to do the only thing he could do to try to give themselves an opportunity to pick up that first down, being that they got such quick pressure, and he tried to step up and buy time for his receivers to get down the field. Yeah,
I mean, it's a fair point, but it's still, I think if you see the pressure coming and you know you can't get, you just got to throw it. But if it gets picked, it's a pick six.
Yeah.
Pick six. If it goes 4 yards, goes 4 yards. Maybe you get illegal contact. Who the hell knows? My point is, you have absolutely nothing to lose by throwing the ball there. You're done if you take a sack. anything can happen.
The line was pathetic.
He didn't have any time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not killing Daniel Jones because he didn't have time. It's not like he had 3 seconds and he took a sack. It's not like he sat back there and took a sack.
Yeah.
It was there quick. The entire drive, it was right in his face immediately.
Yeah, it was pathetic.
But I'm just like, dude, when that pressure comes, just heave the damn ball someplace. When you see it coming in your face, just chuck it.
Try to create a pass interference.
Something. Just throw it anywhere.
Basically a Hail Mary, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ronald says, at Roldy, why does Ingram run zone sit concepts and not crosses? Why doesn't Ross Slayton go deep? Why is Rudolph attacking the seams? That's Jason Garrett. That's the play calling. That's why.
Well, also, you got to remember, crossing patterns take a long time to run. So if Daniel Jones doesn't have the time, it's hard to run deep crosses. I just don't understand. I have the hardest time understanding these routes that are 3 yards and they're so contested. Like that's where he throws these interceptions. If he throws an interception 40, 50 yards down the field, it's like a punt. It's better than a punt. By the way, there's a guy that the Giants can cut next year, Riley Dixon. That'll save him $3.25 million. He's gone. He freaking sucks. Yeah. But it's much better to throw the ball 40, 50 yards down the field, take a shot. It gets picked off, instead of throwing a contested ball that seems to get batted up in the air and picked off 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. And the other thing, guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. You can blame Jason Garrett for a lot of things. Sterling Shepard running that route short of the sticks, that is not Jason Garrett. I guarantee you, Jason Garrett doesn't say, Shepard, run a 2-yard out on 3rd and 4. I guarantee you that pattern is meant to go 4 yards and out. And when I watch back the Manning cast, Michael Strahan says, why do guys do that? It drives me crazy. Actually, I think somebody mentioned that when I said, they go, Strahan just said the same thing on the Manning cast. That's not Garrett's fault. That's got to be the players got to be smart. And we do this crap all the time. 3rd and 8, run a 7-yard out. 3rd and 6, run a 4-yard out. 3rd and 4 at the goal line, run a 2-yard out. What the hell is the point of that? I
think Garrett is part of the problem, but I don't think there are some fans that I feel like they make him out to be the only problem. That is not the case at all. He is far from the only problem. He's part of the problem. I don't think
absolutely.
I thought Pat Shermer was definitely a better play caller. We talk about the crossing patterns. That's what Shermer brought to the table. And you could definitely here's the thing, man. And I blame the Giants a lot more for hiring Garrett than Garrett himself, because the Giants should have known they drafted Jones to be a West Coast style offense quarterback. They thought he fit Shermer's scheme. You brought in Jason Garrett, who's the complete opposite of that. Pat Shermer's scheme is a West Coast style offense. There's a lot of crossing patterns. It's an East-West offense. It didn't make sense. The hire didn't make sense. It didn't fit with the personnel on this team. It didn't fit with the quarterback. So it was a bad hire on the Giants' part to begin with. And we talk about how they set up Jones for failure. They set up Garrett for failure. Yep. You know, we didn't have the pieces on this team for Garrett to orchestrate the offense the way that he wanted to. So I blame the Giants in terms of the hiring process, whether that's Judge, whether that's Gettleman, whether that's Mara, whether it's all three.
It's Mara.
Yeah, for bringing him in. Yeah. You know, if Garrett was on the right team, if Garrett's on the Browns, he could call a great offense.
Yep.
It doesn't fit the personnel on this team.
Here's a name. Let me know what you think. Because it was like, if we go new head coach, which we go new GM, we should go new head coach. Kellen Moore.
Yeah, everybody's brought up Kellen Moore as a potential head coach candidate. And I know he's like a hot name because the Dallas Cowboys offense looks great this year and whatever. To me, I think he's going to be the future head coach of Dallas. I think they're preparing him to take over the job eventually from McCarthy. I think that's
eventually. But what if he's out there this year and people offer him? We think he's going to sit back and wait for Dallas to hire him because they're not going to fire McCarthy.
I mean, listen, that's the type of coach. I don't know if it's him that I would want, but that's the type of coach I would want, a young offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But again, it's like the same thing with Garrett. And again, Kellen Moore's better. But it's the same thing I say about Garrett. We talk about Dak. Can you truly evaluate Dak as a quarterback with all those great surrounding pieces, with the offensive line, with the weapons, with the running back? It's the same thing with Kellen Moore. Yeah, Kellen Moore's offense looks great when you have the best offensive line, when you got all these weapons. Could he do that with the Giants? So it's tough for me to answer that, but I mean, of course, I'd bring him in for an interview at least.
Well, I mean, you're always going to nobody's going to take an offensive coordinator from a bad team.
Of course.
Right. Nobody's looking at the Carolina offense. I don't know who Carolina's offense coordinator is, but nobody's looking at them going, oh yeah, bring him in here. So you're always going to get a guy from a really good team because their teams are really good. So maybe that has to do with talent. Maybe it has to do with coaching, but they're the guys that are going to get promoted when they have. So
that's why
you're going to take that chance. You know, you're not going to take the Jets offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So nobody's looking at Adam Gase going, "Yep, got to get that guy in here." I just thought that was interesting.
And maybe I'll be wrong at the end of the year if they decide to, start looking at head coaches. I just truly think if I was him and I felt I could become the Dallas Cowboys head coach in a year or two, I'd probably just stay there.
Yeah, he could. I mean, Patrick Graham stayed on here. He probably had head coaching opportunities elsewhere. I saw somebody mention Joe Brady. That's a name that I really like too.
Yeah, that's a hot name.
We'll see. I really – it's going to be an interesting offseason. Last year we said we didn't have a lot of content to make in the offseason. This year I feel like we're going to have a lot.
We're going to have too much content to make this offseason.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to.
Yeah, that's the way it's looking right now. Stephen Lilly says the reason we lost against KC's penalties, stupid dumbass players not doing the – yeah, of course. That's the primary reason, but there's multiple reasons why we lost the game. But, yes, the penalties and the poor timeout usage, the dumbass penalties – yes, that's the big
taunting penalty on Elijah Penny was terrible. Just so dumb.
Just going to read a couple of these. I don't have them here, but I got them on the chat. Albert says more injuries, the more conservative the offense got. Yeah, that's fair too. You're missing Andrew Thomas. You're missing your blindside protector. You're missing all your weapons. The offense got more conservative. You saw the Saints game when everybody was healthy. It was not.
No, we were pretty damn conservative against Atlanta, and we were healthy against Atlanta.
We were. It's definitely not been as aggressive as it should be on a weekly basis, even when we were healthy. I'll agree with that.
The game that we played against Washington, I felt like that's the offense we should be running.
Yeah.
I felt like that's what we should be doing, and I thought that the offense had turned a corner in that game because Washington's not as defensively as good as
at the time. We thought Washington had a really good defense,
but still, the Giants were able to move the ball, and they had a long touch. Slayton didn't catch the ball; was right there. They had Jones' big touchdown run called back. I mean, we could have scored 45 in that game. Yeah. So where the hell did that offense go? What the hell happened to that play calling? It was perfect.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The pimp named Slickback says Giants fans saying Jones has earned a year for. I'm telling you right now, unless Mara demands it, we're either getting a stopgap or drafting a quarterback, but DJ is gone. I mean, I personally cannot conclusively say that until the end of the year, and I have to see what we do. What's our plan? Are we bringing an outside GM? Are we bringing an insider? If we bring in an outside GM and Jones is not good this year, which we still have more than half the season to go, but if he's not good, I would probably agree with you. If we brought in an outside GM, I think we'd probably either go stopgap or draft a quarterback. I personally think drafting a quarterback would be a mistake. That's just my personal opinion.
No way do we draft a quarterback this year. Number one, it's a weak class. Number two, there's nothing for the quarterback coming in here. He does a crappy offensive line.
You'd be doing the same disservice.
I don't want a quarterback this year.
You'd be doing the same disservice to Jones when you drafted him.
Just bring Jones back next year. You're still on a rookie contract, and you do not want to draft a rookie quarterback this year. There's no way.
I think it's a mistake.
I don't want a rookie quarterback.
If you want to say
stop, fix other places.
Here's the scenario, Baddog, where I could at least see, and I'm not rooting for this to happen. I want Jones to come back for a fourth year. I'd rather do that. But here's the scenario where I could see the stopgap making some sense. Say the new GM comes in and he's like, okay, Jones is. I already know, and this is his thought process. Let's just say this is the GM's thought process. I already know Jones is not going to be my long-term answer. And let's say the New Orleans Saints call up the Giants. Sean Payton, he's got their number, used to coach there. Guys, I like Daniel Jones. I think with my offensive game plan, and I'm a really smart guy, I could bring Daniel Jones to the New Orleans Saints, and I can make him a really good quarterback. I'm willing to give you the 27th pick overall for Daniel Jones. If something like that happened, I'll trade Jones. I'll get the extra first-round pick. I'll get the stopgap. I could see something like that happening. But outside of that, I think I would just stick with Jones.
I'll tell you right now, if the Giants get a first-round pick for Daniel Jones, I'm signing up for that right now.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Right now. A 27th pick in the draft right now.
Yeah, right I'm just saying.
I thought you were going to say a third-round pick. 27th. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But you look at what did Darnold get? I think Darnold got – I'm curious. What was the Sam Darnold trade? Let me see.
Was it a second-round pick?
They got a pretty good deal.
Second? Third?
New York Jets trade Sam Darnold to the Panthers for 3 draft picks. They gave up – trying to find the exact picks. They got decent picks for him. I know that.
The second and third or something.
If you get a decent package for Jones, I could see them doing something like that. That's what I'll say. And Hearthstone, man, thank you very much. He says, how did we see it live but you need film. Oh, talking about Joe Judge, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
Yeah,
don't
man.
understand that.
And a pimp named
That in other words, Hearthstone Media is, I don't want to answer the question. It's pretty much in court. I plead the fifth. So it's pretty much that's the court's version of I plead the fifth. I got to look at the tape. I plead the fifth. I'm not answering that.
Yeah. Pimp named Slickback says we have few weapons who stay healthy. We have zero cap space in 2023. So the hope is, well, 2023, I think we'll have cap space because we have a lot of guys.
A lot of cap space in 2020.
Yeah, we have guys on this team that you could cut at that point that don't eat up a lot of money. So I think I don't know if we'll have a lot, but we'll definitely have cap.
No, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially if you don't keep Jones and you don't keep Barkley. Yeah, we will have a good amount of cap space.
Yeah. Shepard's gone. Blake Martinez is gone. Bradbury's gone. Bradbury might be gone anyway. I think they saved $12 million on Bradbury if they got rid of him.
Lyon will probably be gone. You'd cut him at that point.
Well, Hernandez will be out of here.
Yeah, they'll have cap in 20. This year they won't have cap.
No, but 2023 they will, which is why I think that is when you're probably going after your quarterback.
Yeah, because you build the surrounding roster around him with the money that you have provided to you because he's on his rookie salary.
Why are we already talking about 2023? We already gave up 2022.
It sucks. I'm not Chris. Well, we're just talking about the long-term plan, right? If they decide to move on from Jones, that
Chris, I want 1 year where you and I do this show and we're like, yeah, man, 7-2. Giants just won 31-10. Defense rolling, quarterback throwing touchdowns, running back scoring touchdowns, head coach making good calls, man. Yeah, we're on our way to the playoffs, guys. This team is rolling. This team is kicking ass. I love the way the Giants are playing, man. We are contenders. When do we get that?
It'd be nice.
4 years we've been doing this show.
And
4 years in November, we're talking about the damn draft.
It'd be nice, man. I hope it comes sooner than later. I hope it comes this
year. Man. Please. I thought this was the damn year, man. That's why this year has been so frustrating for me personally.
Yep. Me too.
Because I just thought the way they finished last year and they had nothing. They were 5-3 the last 8 games, and I felt like they turned a corner, and now they added a number 1 receiver. Now they got a number 2 corner, and still the offensive line was a question, and it still is. But the rest of this team can't stay healthy, and it's done nothing the way we thought it would. Now the defense is coming on. Like I said, Leonard Williams has played great the last month. Azeez Ojulari's been great the last month. Quincy Roche needs more time.
I think they said I think he's going to get more time. He's
been a pleasant surprise. Secondary's gotten better. You know, Bradbury was getting killed early in the year.
They played great.
Their tackling still has a lot left to be desired.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying we won a Super Bowl, but 9 wins? Like, I thought we could get 9 wins this year. I thought we could be 9 wins.
Like 8 wins. Like at least
I thought we could beat Denver. I thought we could beat Atlanta. I thought we could beat Washington.
We could have. We just didn't.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And Chris, man, very much. Tom Coughlin for GM. I get asked that almost every stream. Tom Coughlin's like 932 years old. And he didn't do the best of job. I know they went to the AFC Championship game his first year there with the Jaguars, but he was kind of run out of town there. I love Tom Coughlin. I don't really see that as being a good fit.
I want a younger guy. I want a younger. A lot of guys say Carl Banks. I hear that name a lot.
I don't want a guy with attachments to Mara. I want somebody outside the organization.
But that's got to be Mara allowing them to have free reign. You're not going to get it. Listen, you're not going to get a good GM if he says you have to come in here and take all these guys and you have to have this and you have to have that.
I agree. If he's going to do that, I'd rather them just keep an insider for a year. And then if it doesn't work out, then you blow it up. Like if he's going to force Judge on the next GM, just keep an insider.
Yep.
You know, because you're not going to get a good GM.
Last time, maybe it's a stopgap GM just to keep Judge. Maybe Abrams is the guy. And then if we're terrible in 2022, then you get rid of it all. But me personally, I don't want to go through another one of these years. Although we're going to have pretty much the same team because we can't do anything outside of the draft.
No, we can't.
But you trade players.
But yeah, you just got to hope they stay healthy next year. That's going to be what we're hoping for next year because we've had so many injuries, and you hope that they could get better. But and maybe a new coaching staff. Yeah. A pimp named Slipback, man. Thank you very much for your information. The Browns are talking mid-30s average year right now with Baker. Well, that's ridiculous. And I know Baddog likes Baker, but I think it would be a massive mistake by the Browns if they sign Baker to a second contract. And we'll see if they do, but I think it'd be a mistake on their part.
Yeah, I think Baker, like I said, I thought Baker would be a little bit better than he is. I feel like Baker needs he needs the pieces around him to be good. I thought Baker was a guy that could carry a team. Obviously, he can't. So again, you put him in a good situation.
The one thing I'll say about Baker, Baddog, I was actually impressed, and not him as a player. This week, everything he's had to deal with this situation, I thought he handled the situation very well for a guy that in the past was known as a guy that had, he was kind of immature and had issues like that. Yeah, I thought he actually. I'll give him credit for that. I actually thought Mayfield handled the situation very well, but in terms of a franchise, I just don't view him as a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's a top 15 quarterback. Like I said, I thought he'd be a top 10 quarterback. Again, maybe he can scrape that. It's kind of like Daniel Jones. They're kind of the same. Like everybody's like Daniel Jones. He needs pieces. Yeah, but we don't have him here. Daniel Jones could go to, if Daniel Jones went to the Rams, Daniel Jones would be a completely different quarterback. You know, Daniel Jones, I've never said
Jones
he
the Browns,
to do it.
He can do what Baker does, I promise you.
What's that? Yeah.
He can do what Baker does.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I put Daniel Jones. I figure he could be a top 15, scrape near the top 10. I think that's what Baker is at this point. But yeah, he's growing up. I always loved Baker's moxie. I love the fact that Baker don't take shit and he stands up for himself. And I like a good trash talker. Baker.
I like Baker too until he said what he said about Giants fans. I like Baker too.
Yeah, he was sticking up for his guy.
Yeah.
Although I ripped Baker a new one, trust me, when he did that. Because as much as I love a player, he ain't messing with my team.
Exactly.
I'm not a player guy. I am a team guy. So you go after my team, it's like going after my family.
Yep. And Bill says, how does anyone fairly evaluate Jones behind a bottom of the league offensive line and constant injuries for his best weapon? The kid deserves a shot next year.
Yes, I agree.
Listen, you know what, Bill? I want him to get a shot next year. I do. I have my doubts whether or not he's going to be able to prove it. Because after Bill, and I'm very strict when it comes to this is me personally. I'm very strict knowing the way that quarterbacks get paid in this league and how challenging it is to win Super Bowls after they get paid. This year, I guess what I wanted to see out of Jones this year was a guy that was trending towards where I need him to be by the time that I have to pay him, which maybe by end of the year I'll feel that way. But for me to come to the conclusion after year 4 that Daniel Jones is worthy of that second contract, and I am going to be as fair as I can. I feel like I've been more than fair for Daniel Jones. He's got to be approaching top 6, 7 quarterbacks in the league. And let's give him that shot. Let's fix the offensive line. Let's give him that shot. And if it doesn't work, we have it set up for the next quarterback. That's my take. I have my doubts whether or not he'll be able to prove that, but I have nothing against bringing Jones back for a 4th year, especially in a year in which this quarterback draft class is weak. I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah, no, listen, maybe Daniel Jones is our stopgap quarterback.
Yeah, that's essentially what he'd be if you're going to
but yeah, there's just no, like I said, number one, there is no Kyler Murray in this draft, which, by the way, I went back and watched that video. Boy, I staunch on wanting the Giants to get Kyler Murray. I freaking loved Kyler Murray, but there's no Kyler in this draft. There's no Herbert in this draft. They're mediocre quarterbacks. You don't want a mediocre quarterback coming in. There's not like a game-changing quarterback that's going to come in here and make us contenders. He's going to come in here. He's going to get his ass kicked. And by taking a quarterback, you have once again neglected probably the most neglected part of this team for 10 years, and that's the offensive line. The Giants have got to address the trenches in this draft. I don't give a damn who the hell the GM is. I don't care if it's Gettleman comes back here, which it should not happen. I don't care if it's Abrams. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's Irish Rover. I don't care if it's Roldy Lewis. I don't give a damn who it is. They have got to address the offensive and defensive lines so they can win at the line of scrimmage. When you lose at the line of scrimmage, you are going to lose the game. The Giants have got to get that going before they bring in another quarterback in here. You have to have
maximize your quarterback
for a young quarterback.
Maximize your potential. Do what you did for Eli. Do it the smart way. Maximize your quarterback's potential on the rookie deal.
Yep.
Fix the line. That's how you win Super Bowls in the NFL. Quarterback on the rookie deal. I want, ideally, unless there's a Trevor Lawrence, which there is not in this draft. And by the way, how's Trevor Lawrence doing in a really bad situation this year?
Right.
But unless there's a quarterback like that, I don't
want
to
draft
Burrow
him. Was another one. I mean, I'd take a Joe Burrow any day. And look at him now that they have a good team around him.
Yeah. So, And Irish Rover, man, thank you very much. We need an exorcism and piping hot enema to fix this team. Giants for life. You're damn right we do, Irish Rover.
That's for starters, Irish. That's just for starters.
And Osama bin Drippin, man, thank you very much. The Barkley pick in 2018 set us back worse to DJ. The Cardinals missed on Rosen and improved. It's about being proactive and not sitting on your hands. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we trading down was the right thing to do in that draft. That's what the Giants should have done. They didn't do it. We can't go back in time, but yes, that will be looked at as a horrible decision in retrospect. For sure.
Let's put it this way, Osama. It looks like both of those picks probably set us back.
Yeah, they're both bad. Because we didn't have the foundation for either one of them.
Right, exactly.
You know, we said.
Although honestly, after 2018, Barkley did not look like a bad pick. I mean, how could you say he was bad after he led the league in scrimmage yards as a rookie?
He won Rookie of the Year.
Right. So it's hard to say now. Yeah, because he can't stay healthy.
The reason why it was a bad pick, though, Baddog, it's because
you don't win with running backs. This is in 1990.
Well, not just that, because I still, if he was healthy, I don't think he's like a typical running back, but we were not, that was a win now pick. And at that point in time, the Giants should not have been thinking win now. They should have been
again, I've said this before. I think Mara influenced that pick. I think Mara told Gettleman. Again, 100%. I go back to 2017 when McAdoo was done with Eli, said, I want Watson, I want Mahomes. And McAdoo's big FU to the Giants was, I'm going to get fired. We're 2-11 or 2-10, wherever we are, sitting Eli, starting Geno Smith. I know I'm out of here. I'm going to mess the franchise up completely. Mara felt terrible because he didn't step in and stop it and said to Gettleman, we're going to try to win for Eli. We're going to try to win for Eli. So go out, pay Solder, and get some picks and draft the running back. Draft the best player available because we're gonna try to win for Eli. And that, to me, that I think that was merit more than Gettleman. I'll be honest.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And I think even if that was what Gettleman wanted, then that's the only reason why Gettleman got the job, because Mara wouldn't have hired somebody if they weren't willing to give Eli another shot.
Gettleman wasn't their first choice, I don't believe, and Shermer wasn't their first choice because Mara's probably telling all these guys, listen, you have to come in here and do this. And a lot of guys probably like, no.
Yeah, I think I mean, we'll never know this, and Mara would never admit it, but I think Mara wanted to. He didn't want to rebuild at that point. He wanted to try to win.
Yep, and that's why he's a really crappy owner.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones Burner, thank you very much. Is Andrew Thomas going to be back for the Bucs game? I mean, we don't know. That's the first game he's capable of coming back. He's on the IR. You missed 3 games. That's the first game he's capable of coming back. I haven't heard many updates, to be honest with you, Daniel Jones Burner account, in terms of how he's progressing, which I'm surprised. You would think that'd be one of the most talked about guys on the injury report for the Giants. Maybe somebody in the chat has. I haven't heard much about him.
Too busy talking about headsets over here.
Oh, hopefully he is, though, man. Hopefully he is, because he's not just vitally important for Jones. It's vitally important to see him progress as a player. I think he's the most important player in this team right now. That potential franchise left tackle, and he looks so good early in the season. So we need to see him back on the field, and hopefully he continues to play great over the rest of the year. So hopefully we get him back sooner than later. Yuri says if Trevor Lawrence or Herbert were on this roster, they would look bad. I agree, Yuri. I'm not saying that they would.
Herbert's offensive line is not good.
I was thinking Lawrence. Herbert did not have a great offensive line his rookie year.
Listen, Herbert and Lawrence, their skill sets no.
Way better than Daniel Jones. They're definitely better. Here's what I'll say: if they were on this team with Jason Garrett, they wouldn't look as good. I'll say that. But Lawrence doesn't even look good with the Jaguars, if we're being honest. But even though his physical skill set is ridiculous, if you just watch the games, but in terms of like the way he's played, but they wouldn't be all pros. No. But those guys, like Baddog said, if there was a Trevor Lawrence in this draft, I'd draft him.
Yep.
But there's not. There's not a Trevor Lawrence in this draft. But Yuri, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Let's see what we got. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. I might have missed somebody. Let me just pull up Zuhaib first. Zuhaib, man, thank you very much, man. What's going on, fellas? What's up with the OBJ crap? We can't be doing this again. It makes sense from a marketing perspective for Mara, not the team. So where's the team first mentality? Listen, Zuhaib, I would not bring him in. I'm not going to cry if they do it. I know it'll make the fan base happy, but Zuhaib, don't worry about it. I would bet the house that he will not be a New York Giant. I'd bet everything I own that he will not be a New York Giant. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think they're bringing him in.
Yeah, there is no team first thing here. Zuhaib, what is this team? What is this team's identity? Somebody please tell me. There is no identity here. Lawrence Taylor said that last year. This team has zero identity, and it still doesn't. What is the leader? Who is the leader of this team? Who is it? On either side of the ball, who's the leader on offense? Who's the leader on defense? Who the hell's the leader on the sideline?
We don't have a
leader. I don't know. Like, so the whole thing about team first, I get it, but I just don't.
We're not bringing. We're not going to bring him in. I know fans want it to happen. It's not going to happen. So yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. But I agree with your point that we don't have an identity on this team. I agree with that.
No identity at all.
A pimp named Slickback says quarterbacks get all the praise, but none of the blame in New York. I think they get.
I don't know. Eli got a lot. Eli got a lot.
Eli got a lot of blame. I thought and people didn't look at the surrounding roster for sure, but I think that's. I mean, if we're being fair, Pim, I think that's pretty much everywhere. I think quarterbacks is. I say it all the time. Quarterback is the most important position in football. There's no denying that. I also think it's the most overrated position by a lot of fans in terms of importance. It's incredibly important, but it needs a lot of help for that quarterback to get the most out of his abilities. And I don't think a lot of fans acknowledge that. And they get way too much credit when they're good, and they get way too much blame when they're bad. That's my honest opinion on quarterbacks.
I think part of it with Eli and Daniel Jones is this. When the Giants had Eli, we were a good team. We were a very good team. We were 2-time Super Bowl champions. So the fan base expected higher quality football. I think Daniel Jones got here. The team had been bad for many years. And now a lot of fans are just hoping. I don't know if they're hoping with their heart or with their head. I think they're just hoping that he turns into something good. And they're trying to hold on to anything positive about this team and anything as a future. Because if you take Daniel Jones away and say, you know what, if you all of a sudden just say he's not the guy, we have to move on.
Yeah.
Where's the future? I've asked this a bunch of times in videos. Who's the future of the Giants?
There is no future.
Who is the future of the Giants? If you take Daniel Jones away, because some people want to say they just want to cling to, hey, we have a future. It's Daniel Jones. You take Daniel Jones out of it. Barkley's not the future. Kadarius Toney, he can't be the future. He's had a couple great games, and yeah, he's exciting when he's healthy. But God Almighty, is he ever going to be healthy? We don't know what he is.
Thomas and Toney are the only things you cling to.
There's right. So we're clinging to a quarterback who's thrown, I think, 17 touchdowns in the last 19 games or something like that. And we're clinging to a receiver that had 2 good games in his NFL career. That tells you how bad the state of this organization is right now, that fans are just clinging to anything. And again, clinging to, God, please bring Odell Beckham back here, even though it's not going to make us win. But they just want something to cheer for, and I don't blame them at all.
I understand
in any facet. This team, as Strahan said, this team sucks. And Mara has to give these fans some kind of, he has to stand behind his words. I'm not going to put up with this. This ain't going to happen again. Then freaking do something about it. Stop talking and kicking garbage cans because you're going to hurt yourself, old man. Go out there, get a freaking GM that knows what the hell he's doing, modern day analytics and football philosophy, and lay off. Sign the checks. Sign the checks and let the guy do his damn job. Stop meddling. Stop telling them what to do. Stop telling them what players are going to take and who they're going to hold on to. Let them do their job and turn his damn franchise around because I'm sick and tired of losing here. I'm sick of it.
Build the team the right way. I mean, that's all I can say, man. And that's all we can hope. They bring in the right guy that builds the team properly.
Freaking John Mara, man.
John Mara, we both agree on that. He's by far the biggest problem, but.
Yeah, I'm so sick of it. He's just so inept at what the hell he's doing.
Yeah,
it's so sad that the fans have to cling on to Daniel Jones, or they have to cling on to bring Odell Beckham back, or they got to cling on to Kadarius Toney, who had 10 catches and a punch in one game, and this is the guy we're holding on to.
Yeah, we lost.
I can't believe that this is where we are.
We lost by 24 points. The Giants fans are celebrating because a receiver had a good game. Like,
we're the New York Football Giants.
We're a sad right now. We're a sad franchise for sure. Jared, Matt, thank you very much. Do you all see any case that we are good next year if we hit on the O-line picks with the new GM? Also, I'm done with Judge. Give me the OC up in Buffalo. A lot of people like him. Dabble. He'll definitely be a hot commodity in terms of head coach candidate. Yeah, Jared. I mean, I'm not going to predict it. Is it possible? Sure. Like if if everybody stays healthy and we hit on our first round picks and the offensive line looks good, and yeah, but it's a lot of ifs. But yeah, it's possible. But I'm not going to predict it. Like, we'll see it. We'll see what the team looks like going into next year. And the schedule, obviously we're more than likely going to be playing a third or a fourth place schedule. It's going to come down to if the guys could stay healthy and if you could truly improve this offensive line dramatically in one offseason, whether or not they could be a competitive football team. But I'm not going to bank on it. But is it possible? It's possible.
We're going to improve this offensive line. Number one, Andrew Thomas needs to stay healthy. Yeah. Number two, they have got to address it. They can't sit there and rely on Shane Lemieux and Matt Parrott to be the future. They have got to do what they have not done this in years. And when they try, they fail miserably. Is that the GM? Is that the scouting department? Whatever the hell it is, you can't draft an Eric Flowers. You can't have that at the 9th overall pick. You can't draft Will Hernandez, whatever the hell we drafted him, 34th overall or whatever that was that year, and he fails. We can't have it. You can't bring in Nate Solder for all that money, and he sucks. They have to figure it the hell out. They got to get realignment in here. I've seen so many, like I said in the video, I forgot what video it was. I think it was the one where I was ranting on Joe Judge. There's teams that go down, there's teams that go up. Listen, this makes me sick to my stomach to admit this. The Eagles sucked last year, and they're going to suck this year. But next year, guess what? They're probably not. Tons of cap space, 3 first-round picks. Could have 3 top 10 picks for crying out loud. Guess what? That franchise, as much as I hate it and it sickens me to say it, they are going to come back faster than we are. Why? Because their GM is smarter than ours. Because their owner's smarter than ours. Their fans may get on their case. I don't know why. They just won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, and they've been in the playoffs. They had one bad year last year, and they're ready to jump off a bridge. We have been for 10 years. I'm sick of it. Yep. I don't know where the hell this rant came from. I'm sorry. I don't know what. I got excited. I excited myself over here. I don't know.
Flight says, thoughts on OBJ maybe coming back to the New York Giants. You're late with that one. Listen, here's my thoughts on it. It will not happen. I think it's like a 0.000001% chance. And I think there's about 20 other teams that he would go to before the New York Giants. But if it happens, I'll support it. I'm a New York Giant fan. I'll say, okay, it's something to make the fans happy. Is it going to help us win games? Probably not. We're not a good team, but it'll be a one-year experiment, whatever it may be, and I'll support him. I'm a Giant fan. I root for the uniform. So do I think it'll happen? No. Do I understand why some fans want him back? Yes. Do I understand why some fans don't? Yes. Yeah, that's my take on it, but I know it's not going to happen. Yeah, Dan, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, what a crazy comeback win for the Knicks. Hopefully the Giants win Sunday. Chris and Bad Dog, the GOATs, and Bad Dog Yankees really allowed Allen to go. Shaking my head.
I mean, they let him walk to the minor leagues last year, Dan, when he was the reason we started winning because of the way he played baseball. Listen, we all know that our GM's an idiot. I don't think, listen, Dan, I'm not going to rant on Boone and the Yankees. We'll save that for April, buddy. I have enough on my plate with this pathetic organization. At least the Yankees win games. At least they make the playoffs. But again, different set of expectations for the Yankees. But Dan, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot more Yankee stuff this year. So we'll talk about. We'll have a lot of time to talk about the Yankees, my man. A lot of time.
And about the Knicks, what he said. Yeah, I mean, signature one of the year so far.
Like I said earlier, they don't quit. A lot of fighting them. Every team embodies their head coach. Every team embodies the personality of their coach. Yankees are lazy, gutless, stupid. That's their head coach. The Giants, I don't know what the hell they're confused. That's their head coach.
Two judges at this point,
right? And the Knicks, they are fighters. They are scrap, just like they were in the 90s. When it was Pat Riley, they were fighters. When it was Jeff Van Gundy, they were fighters. And
it's not just this game. I mentioned that actually in another extreme where I think they brought the rookies in and Thibodeau called a timeout when they were up by 18, and then you saw the rookies come back in and they played ferocious defense with a minute left. You're absolutely right, man. They embody their coach, man. They play the full game. They don't care what the score is. And John says you're all about to die in the DJ Hill like the Dave Gettleman Hill. I ain't gonna die in any hill. I'm a guy that is trying to be as fair as I can with Daniel Jones, but I have never once said that he's gonna be a franchise quarterback. I have hopes that he could be, but I hated the pick. I could be a guy that could be like, oh yeah, Bad Dog too. We could both be a guy. We hated the pick on draft night. That was all, we were right. No, that's not the type of guy I am. I hope he proves me wrong. and I've tried to be as fair as I possibly
Listen, I was right and wrong about him. They always say just go with your first, your initial reaction or initial judgment's usually correct one. I should have just stayed with that. Although he's better than I thought he would be. Like I didn't know anything about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I've tried to give him as fair of an opportunity this year, and but no, I'm not dying on any hill. I've never once said he's a franchise quarterback.
I'll die on the Giants hill. I've died that death for 10 years now.
The Gettleman hill, yeah, you could say we died on it, but I just think we did what any sensible fan did is they tried to give Gettleman a fair opportunity to build a roster. We gave him 3 years to rebuild this team since 2019, 2018. They screwed up. Baddog and myself both agreed that we thought it was more Mara. That's a matter of opinion. Some people disagree with it. 2019, we gave him an opportunity to build a roster for 3 years. It failed. So, yeah, I guess I was wrong.
4 years.
It was more so me just letting it play out and giving the guy a three-year window.
Right, 18, 19, 20, 21.
To try to rebuild the football team. So I'm ready to move on from Gettleman, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be people. Baddog, it is to me, it's like the easy way out when it comes to a GM to have like the short leash. To be like, after 1 year, the guy sucks, get rid of him. Because you're more than likely going to be right if he inherits a really bad situation. But I think the fair and correct thing to do is give him an ample amount of time, 3 years. I think that's fair to build a team.
4 years.
I'm going to do the same thing with the next GM. I don't care who they bring in. I'm going to give the guy a long leash. I'm warning you right now. And I may be wrong, but I don't even view it as being wrong. It's evaluating a guy for 3 years, letting him build his roster, let him clear out the old roster. It failed with Gettleman. Didn't work. I'm going to let the next GM build the team. And if it doesn't work, then we move on to the next guy. But I'm not going to come to a conclusion on a GM after 1 year or even 2.
Yeah, the first 2 years I had to defend Gettleman because, again, I was like, listen, he's been here for 2 years. He took over a horrible situation. Can we at least see how his running back and his quarterback fare? Then as the third year got here and all the Reese's guys are pretty much gone and we saw the same crap that was here, like I was at a point where I'm like, I can't defend him. I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to say he should be fired. I was at the point where if he got fired, I wouldn't be mad. If they kept him, I wouldn't be mad last year. This year going into it, I said, this is the make or break season for everybody. We spent $100 million in free agency alone on Kenny Galladay and Adoree Jackson. We have to be a better team. We have to be above 500, and our quarterback needs to show that he's a franchise quarterback. He needs to take the next step going forward. And he's shown flashes. He always has a good drive here and there, but he hasn't shown consistency whatsoever. His entire career, he's been up and down. That's not a franchise quarterback to me. I'm not going to give that guy a long-term deal. That's just my opinion. People can kill me for it. I get killed for my opinion all the time. But Gettleman's done. He's had 4 years, and in my opinion, and I've said this a few times, we're worse off now than we were when he took over. So he's
at best, it's equally as bad. At best. Yeah. So it's not improved.
So whoever the next GM is, I'm going to give him some time to try to fix what Gettleman, because you can't fix it in 1 year.
We're going to be fair to the next guy, just like we were to Gettleman.
Yep.
We're going to be fair.
Yep.
And let me read these so I don't miss them. A pimp named Slickback, man, thank you very much. I have a problem with there's no great quarterback in the draft. Hire a smart GM outsider, let him decide. Of course, pimp named Slickback. I'm just giving my opinion. If I'm going to give the quarterback a chance, just like I gave Daniel Jones a chance. I didn't think there was any great quarterback in that draft when they drafted him. I didn't think we had the team to support him. But when if they draft Malik Willis, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to hope that GM was right and that quarterback does have top 5 upside and that quarterback could become an incredible quarterback. They're the paid professionals. I'm just giving my opinion. This is thought to be not, and Baddog agrees with me. I think most people agree. It's not thought to be the highest quarterback draft class. And knowing that, it makes me think of the 2019 quarterback draft class when we drafted a quarterback. We don't have a team situated to support the guy. I don't want to force a quarterback pick. So I'm just giving my opinion on the matter. But if the GM feels that this guy's going to be the next Justin Herbert, by all means, take him. 2017 or 2019 wasn't a great quarterback draft class either. Well, 2019 wasn't that the Daniel Jones draft?
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
Oh, that's
No. That was the year before. That was the year before.
Yeah, 2019
was Kyler Murray.
But he was the first pick. We could have never taken him. So there was only one great quarterback in that draft. 2017, of course, there were great quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who we could have picked. The Rangers defense, just what the hell was that? How are you going to let McDavid just go through 4 guys and score? It's 5-5 in the third. That's freaking. Who the hell else was? Dwayne Haskins was caca.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, no good.
That was about it.
Yeah. Kyler Murray's the only guy I wanted. I mean, you and I both wanted Josh Allen.
Get him, and he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I said the Giants trade. I loved Kyler Murray. What can I? Man crush on Kyler Murray. What can I say?
Bill M. He says, John Mara picking our GMs and Chris Mara scouting our players. We may be effed for the foreseeable future. Stock up on women and booze, boy.
Well, I already have a woman, but I definitely have quite a bit of booze.
Need more booze. Always need more booze when you watch this team.
Something else, isn't it?
But thank you, man. And Duncan says, DJ is the stopgap until the team is ready to support a quarterback. Fire the first scout who wastes time looking. Only other quarterbacks. I'll be okay if we snake the birds trying to get Wilson. He's used to a bad O-line. So you're saying Russell Wilson you're talking about. I mean, if they trade for Russell Wilson, I'm not going to – of course, Giant fans are going to be excited.
He's a lot of money, though, isn't he?
He's a lot of money, and he would cost a ton of draft capital.
Yeah, I forgot what the hell I was going to say. I just
don't think it'll happen. And the other thing I'll say is, like, if Russell Wilson has any say in the team that he would want to go to for a guy that constantly complains about his offensive line, why would he want to come to the Giants?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't want to come here. Why would a veteran want to come to a team that's rebuilding, you know?
Yeah, I don't see it. Especially a team that's rebuilding that wouldn't have any draft picks if they brought him in.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Makai, man, thank you very much. This is the least I've ever been invested in the Giants. Like, obviously, I watch every game, but it's hard, man. Makai, it's hard for all of us. So, the last couple of years, I was like, all right, they're rebuilding, they're young, they're growing. But this was a year, not Super Bowl expectations, but like Baddog said, it was a year where, you expect at least 7, 8, 9 wins. And to not give away games in the method in which we So it's just more of the same. It's another 2-6 start. It happens every year. So I don't blame fans for feeling the way that you do, man. This was supposed to be a year where not necessarily the rebuild was complete, but where the rebuild took significant strides and didn't happen. So I don't blame you for feeling the way you do. And Rolly, man, thank you very much. Thank you, Bad Dog. Fans like myself need you and Tim to talk facts. Thank you, bro. Okay. There you go.
Hey. That's just how I am, Rolly. But Tim and I we'll do something again. He actually reached out to me on Twitter. I said, "Yeah, I just with the basketball, it's busy. I don't even know if I'm going to be home tomorrow. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that game tomorrow. I don't know when the hell I'm getting home. I got some party to go to. It starts at 6. I told my wife I want to be out there by 10. I'm 45 years old, man. I ain't looking to do anything. I want to be home. I want to call the damn game. I have more fun doing that.
Oh, you want to party? Halloween?
No, it's a birthday party. Someone's turning 60. So
okay,
yeah. So it should be early. I mean, God, 60, you got to go to bed. Yeah, I heard.
Don Vito says, "Pray John Mara has some spicy emails leaked." Yeah, people were saying that on Twitter. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe that'll get John Mara out as the owner. Who knows, man? And Xerox says, "Evening, gents. Back when I played rugby, we used to play with minor injuries. These Giants wide receivers are soft. It really bugs me. Pull your diaper and get onto the field. Love you guys. Go Giants."
Yeah. The thing is, Andy, you never know how serious their injuries are. So it's really hard to speculate. I know people said last year Kenny Golladay could have played. I have a hard time because I don't know what, like, Barkley obviously can't play.
Yeah, we saw his.
I don't know what the hell the deal is with Golladay.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get on players when I don't know if they can actually play through it.
Kadarius Toney tried and he couldn't. I mean, we saw that he had 3 catches and he could not go. I mean, to me, he played last week and then he cut his thumb is what happened the one time. Must have caught it on a helmet. So I guess he had a gash in his thumb. But he tried to play through it. Shepard, obviously you could see it when he got pulled that was not good. And again, as a guy that's older and a guy that works out, I've certainly had strains in my calf and pulled hamstrings and thrown my back. I've had a lot of crap and I'm not even playing football. And I had to be sat up for a couple of weeks. So I don't know. I just never know, But yeah, Andy, I wish they'd be on the damn field. It'd be nice to have our players healthy. It's amazing how many of them get hurt. It's flabbergasting.
What people were asking me that in my stream yesterday. What do you think? Like, because this isn't just a 1-year thing. This is like a 10-year thing.
It's insane.
What do you think is like the main cause for that? Because I think, you could point to the turf. You could point to the fact that maybe we bring in via the draft or via free agency guys that have an injury history. You could point to the medical staff. You could point to, I don't know, the head coaching. I don't know. But what do you think is like the primary reason why?
The turf is definitely a major part of it. I think the turf sucks. I think that stadium sucks, to be honest. They did a terrible job with that stadium. Barkley never missed a game
in college.
And bad luck. It's I mean, stepping a foot and you're out for 4 weeks. Freak thing. Eli Manning was never hurt. I don't know.
Everybody around him was, not him.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just Eric Flowers was never hurt.
Yeah. No, he should have been.
Odell got hurt a lot, but I think that it's the turf. I think that turf is terrible. A lot of players complain about it. We've seen them slip time and time again on it. I think they should go to natural grass. I don't know why they don't. Maybe it costs less for that crap that they put on there. I don't know what the deal is. You're indoors, I understand. You're outdoors, you can grow grass. Come on, man. The Giants should have natural grass. It'd be nice to see some stadiums in natural grass.
Something. I remember last year there were tons. There was a team that was. I forgot who it was. It was a big article on it. They played the Jets and the Giants back to back, so they had to play on the same field 2 weeks in a row, and they were complaining about the turf. They said it caused a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it's not a good turf.
And Bryce, man, thank you very much. He says, good night, y'all. Good night, Bryce, man. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Thank you for being a great supporter. And let's see. John Gruden, we're playing your ex team this week. He says, Hurts has 16 total touchdowns, throwing to a rookie and a bum wide receiver. And injuries on the O-line, too, ranks higher than DJ, EPA, and PFF. Yet people claim DJ is a franchise guy. Well, he's not.
All right, I'm going to tell you this.
Hurts' stats, at least in my opinion, are misleading, but DJ is not
completely misleading.
Yeah.
Hurts with less than 4 minutes to go in a game, and I don't know what he had against the Lions, but going into that game, and I know he didn't have any against the Lions because they were running the ball at that point, had 5 touchdowns and interceptions. His quarterback ratings in the 130s. Why? Because they were down 38-11, because they were down 45-16 or whatever they were against Dallas. So he gets garbage touchdowns. It's great for fantasy football. It's awesome. But if you actually watch Jalen Hurts play, he's not good at all. He's not good, which is why they're so far behind.
Yeah.
The games that they have dominated are games that they run the ball. Boston Scott destroyed Detroit. In the game against Atlanta, short, safe passes for Hurts, run Miles Sanders, blow him out. As soon as you start having Hurts chuck the ball around the field, you lose. He's not that guy. So, yeah, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is that guy either, but let's not look at the stats and try to say, oh, he's way better because of this, because of that. Also, he's throwing a rookie wide receiver. Daniel Jones is throwing a rookie wide receiver too, right? Kadarius Toney. How much has he been on the field? Where's his running back? Where's his number one receiver that we paid $72 million for? Where's Sterling Shepard? Where are those guys? I don't like that comparison. I don't like it at all because, again, stats are misleading. I watched Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, didn't like him. I watched him at Alabama, didn't like him. I watched him in Philadelphia, don't like him. The Eagle fans don't like him either.
Yeah. I watched Jalen Hurts play. He's not a good quarterback. Period. I'm not saying Jones is, but Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. I don't care what the stats
I don't think so. And I don't know why they compare those two all the time.
Because they're
listen, just like me telling some dude, yo, you're losing your hair. That don't mean I ain't losing mine. What the hell's the difference?
And John Gruden says Giants fans need to leave the Giants bubble. I mean, I think most of them have at this point. I think everybody at this point is ready to blow it up. You're not hearing me say we need to keep it. You're not hearing me be biased towards any one of our players. If the Giants blow everything up at the end of the year, I wouldn't blink an eye. I mean, obviously, not like Andrew Thomas, and younger guys like that. But if they go in a completely different direction and they bring in a new GM and a new head coach and they blow it up, I wouldn't blink an eye. Laid back says, did we waste Saquon Barkley? I mean, yes. But I mean, obviously there were injuries as well, but yes. And the second we drafted Saquon Barkley, you knew it was going to be tough for him to succeed here. Unless the offensive line got fixed. And they obviously tried to do two things at once when they signed Solder and drafted Hernandez. But the fact that we couldn't fix the line and obviously the injuries. So I'm not going to blame the Giants for the injuries, but yes, we did. Yes, we did. Don says DJ got to be like Aaron Rodgers and call his own plays. I mean, he's not Aaron Rodgers, though.
No, definitely not.
He's not Aaron Rodgers, man.
Wish he was.
Not knock on Daniel Jones. There's one Aaron Rodgers. He's not Aaron Rodgers. And let's see. John Gruden says PFF and EPA take that crap into account. I don't care what PFF
That's
says.
why I don't care what PFF says at all.
That's my opinion on it. I'm not going to change. I watch
PFF also ranked Jalen Hurts 40th going into the year as the 40th best quarterback in the league. So take PFF for what it's worth.
PFF said Daniel Jones is still a pretty good quarterback, right? According to them. I mean, and I guess this guy's trying to say he's a horrible quarterback.
I'm not looking at analytical stuff. I'm just going by what I see in the field. Am I an Italian evaluator? Absolutely not. I'm just a guy that's watched football for 38 years. I know a good quarterback when I see one, and I know a bad one when I see one. And Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback.
Stats. I mean, like I'm going to pull it up now, but like QBR, for example, which is a stat a lot of people look at. Last I checked, Jalen Hurts was atrocious.
Let me ask you this. Is Ryan Tannehill a good quarterback?
I think he's a good quarterback.
Is he if he's on the Giants, how good is Ryan Tannehill?
Not good.
Okay. So that's my point. I mean, he's not a good quarterback. Good quarterbacks make their teams better. Ryan Tannehill make the Giants better? Does Jalen Hurts make the Eagles better? Does Daniel Jones make the Giants better? Probably not. So, no, I don't think any of those guys are great quarterbacks at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at QBR, Hurts actually went up in this. But you can look at any stat you want. QBR, he ranks 25th. The only guys behind him are Terrell Heineke, Baker Mayfield, Ben Roethlisberger, a rookie quarterback at Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Davis Mills, and Zach Wilson. And
think about the stats that he got at the end of the game that made his QBR better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would love to see Jalen Hurts' garbage time stats. Because I
told you.
I bet you it's the best in the league.
With less than 4 minutes to go in the game, he has 5 touchdowns, no interception, a quarterback rating of 132 because they've been down in so many games. Rangers lost in overtime, of course. They blew a fourth. Gorgiev sucks, man.
Hamza says, people who say Maris should sell are so dumb to me. I don't think they're dumb. It just won't happen. You know, I don't blame fans for wanting him to leave, but it's not going to happen. So it's kind of like, it's just, you know, it's kind of like the Odell thing for me right now. I know it's not going to happen. So it's not even really worth talking about because it's not going to happen. Mara's not going to sell the team.
No, they want him to sell the team. He don't need to sell the team. He needs to allow his guys to do their job, and he just needs to sign the checks and run the franchise. But stop getting involved in scouting and drafting and telling the GM what he has to do and who he has to keep. Let that guy make his decisions. You're hiring him for that reason. So let him do it. Jerry Jones meddled with the Cowboys for years, and they were terrible. You know, now he kind of let go of the reins, and the Cowboys are a much better team. When they started drafting their offensive line, ironically enough, right?
Yeah. And Gruden says, what you see Hurts is how others see Jones. I agree with that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I completely agree.
I'm just talking about Hurts, but yeah, I mean, how could you not?
I completely agree with that.
Jones' record as a starter is whatever it is. It's horrible. And he's only beaten. He's beaten how many starting quarterbacks? Like 2. So he beat Winston twice, and he beat Sam Darnold. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I think most of us fully acknowledge that. You know, Daniel Jones is not viewed as a good quarterback. 3 weeks ago, Chris used QBR to argue Hurts was worse than Jones. Now it's a different story. I want the best for the Giants, not to win an argument.
Well, Daniel Jones is QBR.
Daniel Jones is QBR.
Yeah, Daniel Jones QBR is still higher.
Daniel Jones QBR is still higher, but that's not an argument. I do think Jones is better than Hurts. I don't think he's a friend. This is the way I look at it, Baddog. This is a silly argument. Comparing Hurts to Jones is dumb because neither one of them is a franchise quarterback.
I just told you it's like
looking at a group of girls and you got 7 8s and you got 3 2s and you're like, oh well, that 2's better than that 2. I don't give a shit. Neither one's a franchise quarterback.
Right. So, that's what I'm saying.
That's like the other. Neither's a franchise quarterback.
That's like me comparing one guy's male pattern baldness to mine. And going, oh, what the hell's the difference? We're both losing our damn hair.
I don't care who's better. Doesn't matter. Peyton Manning says Gruden stop 8 and Chris sees the prophecy.
Peyton Manning with wheels.
I do not see the prophecy. I never understood the whole Peyton Manning thing. He's not even close to Peyton Manning. But I mean, I guess that's what it's come to. If you don't completely trash the quarterback, people think that you think he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. I don't know.
I just try to be fair. I just try to be fair. You know, it's why my opinion changes every week because I base my opinion on what I see. If he's good, I give him credit. If he sucks, I tell him he sucks. I don't know why that's so difficult. I don't know why. Like, if you say at the beginning of the year, oh, this guy's gonna be great, and then he's really bad, you're supposed to say, oh, he's still great, or still try to win an argument when it's obvious you're losing it. Just admit, hey, I was wrong, man. He's not as good as I thought he would be. That's what I say with Daniel Jones, because he's inconsistent. I've been inconsistent with my opinion on him because my opinion goes right with his play. And his play is all over the place. Saints, hey, he turned a corner. Even though I made a video the next day. Was that a fluke? And right in the game, I said, maybe he's turned a corner. Maybe that was a signature moment. He needed one of those, but he has to show me that he can do it consistently, and he doesn't. He doesn't do it consistently. And,
that's what we're getting to. We're getting arguments where we're comparing Hurts and Jones.
This is because
it says a lot about both quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're both not
franchise quarterbacks. A lot about both quarterbacks.
And I love Jalen Hurts and I love Daniel Jones. I love both. Listen, they're very, as far as personality wise goes, I think that they're very similar. Except for I think that Jalen Hurts has more confidence in his own abilities than Daniel Jones does. Whether that has to do with Daniel Jones getting his ass kicked on a weekly basis because his offensive line sucks and he just don't have the confidence to stand back there and throw it, I don't know. Whether that's because he played at Duke and everybody dropped passes on him when Jalen Hurts is winning national titles and winning, being in the running for the Heisman and two great college football teams, maybe he believes he can do it. I think they're both great kids. I think they're both very hard workers, and I think that they have great personalities and they want to win. There's no doubt about it. There's no reason. Jalen Hurts does not fail or not play well because he's not trying. And Daniel Jones does not play well because he's not trying. I think they both try, but at the end of the day, talent is talent. And they're not elite talents. They're not.
Yeah, neither one of them has proven to be close to a franchise quarterback. Irish is Kevin. I'm 53 and stay up and watch you and Chris. 60 is not 90. Go to the party and have fun. Much love from Texas. Appreciate that, man.
I love you, Irish. I'm just saying, I want to get home. I don't want to be out. Listen, I'm 45. I don't want to be out late. I hate that. I want to get home. I like to be home. I like to be in the comfort of my own home, especially when it's cold out. There's nothing like me, especially Christmas. I love Christmas. I love Christmas. I love going out to my family's house. You go out, I have to load the car up. I got to warm the car up because it's 20 degrees. You're driving home in a warm car. My kids passed out. I just love taking the stuff, getting in my house, do all the Christmas lights, and just relaxing by the fire and just relaxing. Just nice warm. So I like to do that. It's November. It's cold. When I get home, I just want to relax in my house on a Saturday night. That's all I want to do. I'm old.
Yeah.
No more partying for me, man.
And I guess this was come to. People come on here to mock me. They pay $2 to mock me. John Gruden says comparing Hurts to Jones because they are. I agree that they're both average quarterbacks at this point. Peyton Manning with wheels. DJ is a top 3 quarterback. Preach, Chris, because I've ever said that. But anyway, guys, we are going to close it out. Bill, man, thank you very much. He says, I just asked the Magic 8 Ball if Jones is our franchise quarterback. Answer, reply, hazy. Try again.
You should have asked that. You know what, Bill? I think that's where our coaching staff gets their game plan every week is the Magic 8 Ball. That's what Joe Judge in the headphone. Try again later. The 8 Ball. Try again later.
But we're going to close it out, guys. I appreciate all you guys for being here. You know what? From now, I'm just going to make all you guys happy. Daniel Jones is worse than Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback who ever lived.
He sucks.
And Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback who ever lived. And that's that. So, guys, have a great night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. And, we'll see you soon. Baddog, close out, my man.
Hey, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for spending your Saturday or Friday. What the hell's today? Friday evening with us. I don't want to hurry the weekend by. Chris, I always appreciate you having me on the channel. Like I said, sucks talking about this crap every week because this franchise it's a disgrace. It's a mess. And unfortunately, it's hard to see. For a minute, I thought we were seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It seems like that light was a train. And hopefully at some point it gets better. Let's get a win on Sunday. Let's start there.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
I didn't know what that was. I didn't know why you brought that up. Anyway, for the Entertainment Talking Sports, Bad D Dizzle. We out. Peace.